know me. You know I am. My name is Richard Jones. Hey, come on. Come on, act like, oh, come on. You know the fuck I am. Quit tripping. Yeah, I know they call me Dick. You know they call me Dick. My name is Richard. Yeah. Why you doing this to me? Chill. That's Dick Jones. You can find my song on the website at sotomayortv.com. And we're back. And the lines, they are open. And what we are talking about is recognizing those signs that are red flags. And I want to talk about something or introduce something before we get to it. You know, one of the biggest red signs or red flags that there are?
What?
The ones you need to throw at yourself.
Ooh.
We talk a lot. Think about it. We talk a good game. Many of us do. But it's always us pointing out other people's faults. But when is the last time have you heard an individual admit that the biggest red flag in any relationship, and Southern Girl, I know you asked the simple question of, does Brian have his own channel? Yes. And can we get the person to put the link in the description box, or can that relationship rehab say something in the comment section so they can see Brian's channel? But if we were to stop and not try so hard to say goodbye, no, I'm just kidding. If we were to stop and not try so hard, there it is right there, to blame other people for the position that we purposely or willingly put ourselves in, maybe we'd have less problems, because when you internalize your life, you have more control over your life. When you talk about the external in your life, then you're at the whim of those. That's one of the flags that no one throws.
Yes. I was definitely going to say I struggle with that. Being able to, I guess for me, it's like once you realize something that you are, something that you do, and you have that issue, it's like you can't even begin to work on it until you're able to be transparent enough to deal with it and accept it yourself. And looking in the mirror is one of the hardest things that you will ever do in your life. And because it's not just, if it was just one time, I could gas myself up, get myself mentally ready for it, and go ahead and do it and see what it is. But it's something you have to do consistently. You have to constantly evaluate yourself. And to do that is to me the hardest thing to do. To look at myself and to say, this is something that I need to work on, and I need to like take action. Not them things that you say, oh, well, you know, I know sometimes I go off and I cuss people out, but that's because I get mad though.
Yep.
You're not really looking at. You're not really taking that self-inventory to say, you know what, this is a problem that I have, and these are the things that I'm going to start doing to actually change that. And to take that action and to look at yourself like that, in my opinion, it's the hardest thing to do, man. It really is. And that, and like you said, if we could do that, man, that's next level transcendence type shit, man. When we would be on a whole nother level as people, period, if we could do that. That is the ultimate goal.
What makes that so difficult for us to do? Because again, if we were to put all the onus on ourselves, then what would happen was we would know that we have the ability to change and to be captains of our own destiny. But it seems like we're more comfortable at giving the captain's chair to someone else. Now, you learn a lot in psychology, and what it says is pretty much only 8 to 10% of the people ever born are leaders. The rest are born and have the mentality to follow. But I don't think leaders are born, and I don't think they're made, but I do think leadership can be cultivated.
Absolutely.
Why
Absolutely.
is it that most people do not try to cultivate the leadership in themselves? Because you can't always be a leader. Just like when you're a teacher, sometimes you got to be a student.
Yep.
Sometimes when you're a leader, you have to have the ability to follow. The best leaders know when someone else needs to lead. Why is it that this is so difficult at what you said? That is difficult. Why is it so difficult?
I think we have a problem being vulnerable and trusting someone else with us. I think that at the end of the day, when it comes down, if you talking to somebody and you're in a relationship with somebody, that moment that comes to where you have to lay all your cards on the table and show somebody else who you really are. And to be able to do that yourself, to be able to look at all my cards and see what I got in my hand. When I do that, it's one thing for me to see it and to say, well, this ain't necessarily the best hand in the world. And I wish I didn't have this card. And I wish I didn't have that card. And I kind of don't like this card neither. But as long as I keep my hand up, can't nobody else see it. When I have to put myself in a position to where I have to lay those cards on the table and show somebody else who I really am, at my very core, there's such a vulnerability part to that, to where I'm literally trusting you with all of the bad things that I am. And I want you to be able to accept me for that. Because that, at the end of the day, is what we're fighting for. That is the one thing that we are so afraid of, is the one thing that we ultimately and truly want. We want somebody to be able to love and accept us for who we are. And even in our faults, we have to be able to say, yeah, that's okay too. And I'm going to love you in spite of that. And for somebody to get there, that is the greatest challenge, to be in that position, because it's not a one-time thing. It's an ongoing process, and we don't want to make ourselves vulnerable because we're so scared and so afraid to put ourselves in that position, because we don't want to be hurt.
Yeah.
And we don't want to be shunned. We don't want to be looked down upon.
Let's see if we can go to these phone lines. Guys, please call in. The number is 213-943-3362. I'm going to answer your phone calls right now, talking about noticing and recognizing red flags. So if you've been in position to recognize them, or if you think you see something you'd like for our opinion, or if there's something else you'd just like to add to this conversation, please call in now. The number is 213-943-3362. We want to say again, happy Thanksgiving to everyone out there watching the show. And when you get on the line, press 1 to let us know that you want to speak to us. 832 caller, you are on the show with the guru and the whore. Talk to us.
Hello.
Hi. Hey.
Hey, Tommy. Hey, Brian. And hey, Live.
Hey, Live.
I couldn't help myself.
Nothing wrong with
Happy
that.
Thanksgiving, y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure I'm like the red flag color guard leader. So I don't even know where y'all want to start. But, this just resonates with me so deeply, because it doesn't matter, I think, how old you become. You're still you really are just a person trying to navigate life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think you ever reach that age where, like, okay, now everything's together. But Brian said something a while ago, and it reminded me of, like, if we really and truly could, like, I guess he was talking about, like, a person who can, it's easy for, like, your drunk friend to call you and tell you how you need to fix your life.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, if we could recognize what's wrong with us and make a plan, but most importantly, like, that implementation of it, I really feel like that, like, in the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, that is, or I may be getting that wrong, but that's the self-actualization part.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that that's true, because, I mean, I feel like at 40 years old now, I can recognize what I've done wrong. I can make a plan. I can even implement it. But, like, to stay on track, keep myself in check, keep myself accountable, not worry about, trying to show someone else what they're doing. You know what I mean? Just stay in that course. Like, and look, I have made myself as humble as possible, but I still catch myself like, oh, well, that's because my mom did this, or you know what I mean? Like I still find a way to, I guess, to say like, oh, well, yes,
you
I
take
know
the
I do this,
onus.
but that's
You take the whole
because
part of owning it
of
and
X,
you make
Y,
it
Z,
co-owner.
or right. Like even though I see it clearly, and it's interesting also that you guys had brought up addiction because something that we say. I'm a nurse, and at one point I worked in a rehab setting for dependency and things like that. And something that the counselors would talk about a lot is like if an addict is, you know, like when they start having the cravings for whatever their drug of choice was, they call it, you know, play the tape all the way to the end. And it's something stops, I think, all of us there. And hey, maybe it's not all of us. Maybe it's just me and other people. But I think that there's something that stops us from like being able to see it all the way to the end. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm not going to do this. Let me play the tape all the way through. And this is where we ignore the red flags. Like when we want something so bad, I think that selfishness kicks in and we just decide, no, I want it. Like, you know, I don't care about this or that. Like, this is what I want. I think it's something that maybe we all will fight with forever, and not to sound negative.
Yeah.
I
definitely agree.
Well, let me ask you, how did you get to this point? Because a lot of people can't get to where you are. How did you get to that point where you were able to recognize this? And as you said, this self-actualization. How were you able to get to that point?
No. I'm not there. I mean, make no mistake. I'm not there.
But you know that's a place where you want to be.
I think that that's what we strive for.
Got it.
You mean to be able to assess it and look at it realistically?
Yeah, like
hello?
Yeah, no. Yeah,
oh, okay.
I was agreeing.
I don't know. I mean, I'm 40 years old. I'm pretty sure this happened like early to mid 30s for me. Let me give you an example. Okay, so back like 22 years ago, I was 18. I was in Navy. I just got out of Navy boot camp, and I wanted to buy my first car. Okay, and oh God, I can't even believe I'm saying this where people can hear me. Okay, so I was stationed in San Diego, and like all of the local car dealers, they preyed on kids like me who had just graduated boot camp. They knew we all wanted to buy a car with our little 2 months of savings we had from being in boot camp. And so like 10 to 15 car dealers would come out with all their cars. Tommy, there was a 1987, and this is 1995, a 1987, like bowel movement brown Ford Mustang. It was so pathetic. But I was so determined that I wanted a car, and I was going to get it that day. It was like payday, Friday. I had the weekend off. Like nothing could stop me from, I'm having a car today.
Yep.
So I'd been talking with these dealers, and I kept going back to this doo-doo brown Mustang. And then I'd be like, no, April, you know, you don't want this car. It's hideous. Let's go back and talk to this guy over here. Well, there was, at the time, like I said, this was 95. So he's like, okay, I got a 1996 Honda Civic. I mean, it was everything that I wanted, but I was going to have to wait until Monday. So, but the brown Mustang had tags on it already, and it had a tape player, so I could immediately listen to my tapes. And so, what do you think I ultimately did before the day was over?
No, you got that one. You signed for it because you wanted
brown Mustang.
Yeah, because I could get it right then and there. And so here's the thing, like,
you got the skid mark Skylark,
the color of school, and you know what I mean. Like, but because I wanted it, because I wanted to have a car so badly that night, I couldn't play the tape to the end. I couldn't wait till Monday. I could have gotten something better for me if I'd waited till Monday.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, so I ignored all the bad things about the Mustang because I could drive the Mustang that night, because I could play my H-Town tape, because it already had tags. I wouldn't have to go to the DMV. Like stupid little things that were like very minor conveniences. And so I didn't learn then at 18. I didn't learn at 20 with relationships when bigger things came, you know, and I would see these red flags and I'm like, but I want this, or, you know, but I like this about him. You know, I'm just going to act like I don't notice that, you know, I can't call him at night. You know what I mean? Like stupid things like that. Like,
now, I think you noticed
that we
it.
know. Like,
I think you noticed it though,
absolutely.
dear.
Like your intuition.
It goes back to number 2 of what I said. You noticed it. You just figured I'm going to be able to overcome this at some point. Or either number 1, your self-esteem was so low that you just took any type of attention over none.
Yes.
You didn't think you deserved a boyfriend that called you. You didn't think you deserved a boyfriend who wanted to speak to you every night. So you accepted a boyfriend who didn't.
Right.
Exactly.
Probably. Yeah. Because something about it felt good for me. And again, like I said, it's very interesting that you guys compared it to addiction. And you know what? Here's what I think. You asked me how I got to this point, and if I'm going to be honest and transparent, then this is what it is. So again, I'm 40 years old now. I've been single for 7 years now. 7 years. Because the last relationship that I had, I think, was the big one that did me in. You know, but like the ignoring the red flags and things like that. There were so many things about him that I liked that was an actual addiction. I had never been addicted to a person before. I didn't even know that you could feel that way about a person.
That's the way it creeps up on us, though.
Type feeling.
But that's the way it creeps up on us. I want to point out that that's the way it creeps up on us, and I want to talk about that and other things. Food. Most people don't know that you can be addicted to food. Most people don't know that you can be literally addicted to a lot of things that they are addicted to. See, they think addiction, crack, cocaine, alcohol. Right. These words go with addiction. But what I'm doing is not an addiction. I just like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But let me say this, though. It was the same thing. I was 30 years old when I met him. And this is so sad to even say, but I had been married and divorced already. So you would think that like the love of my life would have been my husband. And hey, for all intents and purposes, he was up to that point, you know, until I met this person who just absolutely knocked me on my butt, you know, like knocked the wind out of me. I couldn't breathe. And I remember like he was so perfect for the first, 6 months or so. But when the red flags started introducing themselves, Tommy, I didn't care because it felt so good that it didn't matter. You know what I mean? Like, and it didn't hurt.
You wanted the good. You wanted the good
almost
so
like a
bad
mirror.
That in spite of the bad things, you wouldn't let it outweigh it. You wouldn't let those red flags outweigh what you wanted. So those those things that he did that were so terrible, that was so wrong, or that hurt you, you still wanted the idea or the promise, whatever it was that person had. You wanted that so much that you sacrificed what you knew and what you saw. You sacrificed it because you wanted it.
Absolutely.
It's like, I'm going to go and I'm going to go
Brian,
do it. Just like when Tommy was talking about food. I'm going to go eat this thing because even though I know I shouldn't have it, but I want it so bad that I'm going to just totally just not even think about the negative side effects that it's going to have in my life. And when you are in relationships with people, and this is why it's so important, relationships are connections. The things that you are connected to, they not only have an instant side effect, but they have lasting side effects because they will put you into patterns.
Right.
They will be residual things that come from that first relationship that can stick around for the next 20 or 30 years. And because you want it so bad, you don't want to even think about those negative things. And that's what's so important. That's the thing that we have to treasure, that whole idea of saying whatever it is I connect to, it is so important, and it could be such a negative impact on the rest of my life that it's worth me to vet this out or to even not engage in it or to totally disconnect from it when I see that red flag. And that's hard to do.
Right. No, absolutely. Because let me say this, like the red flags that were coming, they weren't even like necessarily, well, I don't want to say they weren't bad because eventually, obviously they were, but they weren't even that obvious. But my instinct, I knew, like I can remember being very cognizant of, like shutting down my intuition, like, like that gut feeling like, hey girl, this is not going to work out. I can remember consciously saying like, but I don't care. Like, I'll worry about that later. Like 31 years old by this point, and I'm just like, I don't care. Like, I love this man so much. It feels so good. Everything about him makes me feel so good that I'll pick up the pieces later. And that was absolutely insane because let me say this. I spent the next, like when we broke up at the beginning of 2010, I spent the next 6 years literally picking up the pieces of my life. Like I'm not even going to blame him. I allowed myself to kind of self-destruct whenever, if I could go back to the night that I met him, I would not have gotten in that car.
You look at it like this.
This long.
You look at it like this. When you let imagine yourself being a house and you let somebody come into your house and you not only allow them entry, but you allow them to tear down, tear up, and literally destroy everything in your home. And whether it takes 6 months or 16 years, once you finally put them out and you've evicted them, that's only half of the battle, because now you have to go back into that house and you have to clean up all of the things that they tore down, that you allowed them to tear down while they were in there.
Yeah.
You allowed them to mess up the walls. You allowed them to mess up the plumbing. They put diapers in your toilets. They had roaches. They had rats. They did all of this. They spilled grease on your stove and didn't clean it. And it's been caked on for 16 years. And now you're literally stuck with a mess that you have to rehab. Ooh, did he tie that back in? Yes, he did. But now you're in a point to now where you have to go back and rehab your entire house. Unfortunately, is that it's you that you have to do that to. And that first starts with a complete full assessment of what the damage is. But now you have to address the fact of how you allowed the damage to happen. Because the first time that diaper got stuffed down your toilet, that's when you should have put them out. Because you said maybe he just didn't know you don't put, a diaper in the toilet. Maybe he just didn't know that you should fuck my sister. Maybe he just didn't know that when you come home drunk, you shouldn't beat my ass. Maybe he just didn't know that you shouldn't take the rent money and go gamble it at the casino or in a dice game in an alley. Those are the things that we have to account for, and not just say, well, he did that to me. Nah, it's what you allow for him to continue to do to you that you got to address.
Brian, I would have begged him to do it. Are you kidding me right now? Like, that's how far gone I was. I'd have been like, hey, my life isn't quite ruined. Can you come back and back over me? You know what I mean? Like, you hit me with your car going forward.
I ain't dead yet.
Missed the spot.
You like that character? She said she was like that character. What was the movie? Austin Powers. I'm still alive. I'm not dead. I just broke my leg.
Right.
Somebody's coming in here.
I'm on, hey,
you shot
I still
me.
have a little bit of dignity. You want this? Yeah.
I said, look, he
you
ran
left
over
my
with an
integrity
18-wheeler.
Come back.
All 18 wheels across up midsection. And she laying there. He look in the rearview mirror and he see her waving like, come on back. Beep, beep, beep. Come on back. One more time. Let me get all 18 of the wheels across me.
My God.
Yeah. And it's like,
what's
and
worse is if you listen to Tommy and he's like, oh God, that's her.
Say it again.
No, I was making a joke. I was like, what's worse is if he listens to you and he's like, oh my God, that's her. I'm gonna have to stop listening to Tommy now.
Yeah. And it's like those things that people will see that, but no, see what's going on. And
y'all talking over each other.
Sorry. They'll see those things and you'll see what's happening. But when you get to that point to where you get fed up, you'll have those random moments that'll make you think or change your mind. It may be, we just had this terrible argument. We haven't spoken to each other in 2 weeks, but He came home one day, brought me my favorite meal, and gave me that D. Hit that spot so hard I came 3 times. I
God,
ain't never did that before. Or she, I know we ain't been arguing. She slept with my best friend, but then she just popped over at my house one night and she just gave me head right there in the doorway, and she wasn't wearing nothing but a trench coat. So I'm gonna try to work it out. It's those things that because while you're with that person learns what makes you tick. He knows and she knows what buttons to push. She knows how to stroke your ego. She knows how to make you feel so good, and you get so accustomed to that you crave it, and that's what you're going after. It's like that first high, So you get into that pattern of the ups and downs.
Now I'm gonna have to stop you, Brian. You got to do something. I know that this must be a Midwest thing. Y'all do not pronounce that word correctly.
Which word?
Pattern.
Oh, sorry.
Pattern. Oh, what did I say? Pattern.
Pattern. Like that motherfucker's down in the bayou. That Zatterins. That patterns. I gotta call you out on that. Is that a Midwest thing for real? Because I've heard a lot of brothers from the Midwest say pattern.
Pattern. Yes.
Just like y'all don't say car. Y'all say car. But
or like I'm from Louisiana, we say core.
Oh yeah.
See? What they say down in Louisiana,
baby. But dear, I want to
do that. Yeah.
I want to tell you this. First off, I want to thank you so much for the phone call, because you and Brian, if that discussion didn't help people, then I don't know what it is. Your full transparency was amazing, and Brian's ability to be able to relate that to not only problems but solutions. That's why I just sit back and I just listen to it. I love stuff like that. So I want to thank you, number one, for calling, and number two, I want to leave you with this, and I want to know what you guys feel about this. Just simple saying. I stopped blaming others when I realized that blaming other people did not change the position I was in.
Hallelujah. I'm going to go because I could talk all night long, and I don't want to do that. I know how it feels to be waiting, and you're
and I'm going to get other people on.
Hell to the caller. But I just want to say this real fast also. So, this goes, I think, also back to your parenting show the other day. You had mentioned a few minutes ago about how, there's something about us like, we don't want to show ourselves to people. We don't want to be transparent. We don't want to, like stripping naked in front of someone, metaphorically speaking. And I think and that's why parenting is so important, because even if you're not abusive to your children, or like if your mother wasn't purposely, demeaning or belittling or destroying your self-esteem, when you're a child and you don't understand constructive criticism, like let's say I go and show my mom that, that I just drew this, and maybe it's something that I shouldn't have drawn, instead of doing it in a gentle, loving way. If my mom's like, no, that's not how you do it, that scars you. And then you stop wanting to show people what you can do. And I think that has so much to do with, for me at least, because I think my mom would she was trying to do the right thing by correcting me or whatever it is, but her style could have been a bit different. And also there were some discipline issues, I think. So it's like one of those other things, like when you're bullied at home by your own parent, and this isn't to a T my situation, but it's just an example. You're absolutely going to go out into the world and let other people bully you, because if the one person who was supposed to nurture you and cultivate your greatness and protect you from the world doesn't, you're not going to expect it from other people. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to automatically think that everyone else should be able to treat you this way too, if your own mother or father did it. So behavior. I think that this isn't just another way that we can screw our kids up. You know what I mean? I think that our inability to deal with relationships can go back to when we were 4 years old, either by not having had a relationship to as an example to follow, or something that someone did to us when we were young and it just stayed with us. And so that we don't want to show whatever, whatever it is, whatever applies to you. You don't want to show that to people because someone else made you feel like it was ugly. Someone who you trusted made you feel like it wasn't adequate. So, and then we're just a bunch of messed up people running around trying to forge some kind of union with another messed up person, and then rinse, repeat. You got Americans who can't stay married, and this is just where we are.
Yeah.
Unless you're willing to fight it out. So, but anyway, thank you all so much for taking my call.
Thank you.
I will be listening.
All right. Thank you.
And y'all have a great what's left of Thanksgiving. Good night.
Too. Thank you so much for the phone call.
Thank you so much.
And I let some phone calls go longer because I know a lot of people. Let me tell you something. There's people been waiting months and all kinds of crap just to talk to me. And sometimes when I know I'm not going to just cut people off, sometimes when I feel like those people just want to get things off their chest, it's my job to do what I think is right. And as I told the people in the chat room, if you want to play program director, please, by all means, donate and then speak. If you didn't donate to Keen and the other guy block, because I don't give a shit about y'all. I'm going to tell you to your face. I don't give a fuck if I see you in there every night and you thumbs up everything I say and you my biggest fan. Go over there and join that other nigga and talk shit about me now. I don't care. I don't know you. And the people who do the least amount for me are the ones who talk the most about what they see. That just boggles my mind. And it goes
and
back.
not realizing if you all donated enough to where we could do this 5 days, we wouldn't have this problem.
Yep. We do it every damn day. Hell, I gotta sit up here and have the lines open and then say, hey, call in, get the night, blah, 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 and whatever. So look, I answer the phones the way I'd like to. If you don't like it, you can leave. 317. Calling you on the line, you know what I mean? Ooh wee.
Hi, Brian. Hi, Tommy. How are you guys doing? Hi, chat room. It's April.
Hey.
What's happening?
Talk to us.
Well, I have so much to say on this subject. What another wonderful topic. What I really want to say about, people seeing red flags is, oh my gosh, it's just a lot. I think since society has forced us into such a hardness to our society, a lot of people can't tell. And like the last caller just said, so many of us are broken that we're looking for fulfillment, but we're also looking selfishly, if that makes any sense. So we're still going into things selfishly. So like if a certain part of our needs are fulfilled, we feel like it's okay. And so even though the person has so many ways that are horrible and threatening to you, it doesn't matter because a certain piece of you is still getting fulfilled. So you're okay with the mess that you're beginning to put yourself in and the prolonged terrors that you're getting ready to, horrors, I would say, that you're getting ready to ignite. But you just got this one little thing that's keeping you going, like, oh, he makes me feel beautiful. Or like Brian just said, oh, he's dicking me down really good. But you're too broken and you're too blinded by your own insecurities to see the long haul, to see the big picture. So you're blinded by red flags because of selfishness, a little bit of stupidity, and just a need to want to feel accepted by someone.
I agree.
Well, and I come back to you then. And in that aspect, I asked the question. We've all been able to recognize a lot of these things in general. Specifically, though, why is that the hardest part? Because most people sound like psychologists when they are diagnosing your ailments, but they sound like raving buffoons, idiots, or just complete numbnuts when it comes to their own. Why is that?
Right. I think it's because of I think it's because of lack of honesty. Because again, just echoing off of Brian, people are unable to stand in the mirror and really look at themselves and really answer to their own self. I think because we again live in a society where we feel like we have to be a certain person in front of people. I'll give an example. Say you meet someone and you get in a relationship with someone and everybody is telling you, oh my gosh, girl, you look so good with him. He looks so good with you. But behind closed doors, this is not working. I can't stand the way he snores. I hate his teeth. I hate everything about him. But everybody thinks y'all look good. So you keep going because you're trying to please other people. And at the same time, you're lying to yourself. But this man or this woman may know some of your flaws. So you're like, well, I can still hide behind this person. I can still deny who I really am, and I can still move forward in society, and everybody think that I have it going on. And so you get stuck in a lie, you get stuck with all the red flags, and you get stuck with unhappiness because you were unable to just be truthful.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it like this. If you take, if people in this chat room, you went and stood in front of a full-length mirror, totally disrobed, and looked at yourself, just on the physical aspects, you would see things that you do not like about your body. Yes, absolutely. Whether it's cellulite, whether it's hairs, moles, whatever it is that you see, you gonna look at your body and they're gonna be things that you're not gonna like. We see that, but yet and still, when we put on our clothes and we go out, we are more inclined to gravitate to those that say, even though we overweight, we still look good. Even though our hair ain't done the way that it could be, girl, you still fine. You still doing it. I see you working them shoes. I see you working that dress. And we know within ourselves that there are things that we could be doing ourselves to improve what it is that we've already seen and acknowledged and don't like. But why do we not do that and more so find ourselves gravitating towards those people that are just complimenting and enabling us just because it's the nice thing to do? You think about us as Black people, we are some of the most unhealthy people on the planet. We are the most overweight. We are the most hypertension, high blood pressure, diabetes, all of that stuff. And yet and still we look at what we eat and we know it's not good for us and we still go to it because it's so good. We look at ourselves in the mirror and see that we're overweight, but we don't change our diet. We don't go to the gym because we have people constantly telling us, oh, girl, you thick, you ain't fat, when you actually are. And we gravitate towards that because it's easier to gravitate towards somebody that's going to allow you to do what it is that is wrong, or it's easier to gravitate to those that aren't going to challenge you to be better than it is for you to take it upon yourself to say, you know what, I don't like this. And now, starting today, I'm going to start doing this to better it.
But I ask you, April and Brian, the funny part about us is this. I accept people lying to me. I accept me lying to people. Because when I lie, I'm trying to manipulate you to an end that meets my best needs or wants. That's what a lie is. What I am confused about is how people lie to themselves. I'm confused about setting your alarm clock 15 minutes fast, like your ass won't remember when you wake up that you got 15 extra minutes. I'm confused about the idea of you wearing Spanx and Body Magic and really feeling like you that damn fine instead of understanding I just lied to them people. I've watched girls put up photos where they look 9 shades lighter than they are. I saw Cordell Stewart's wife on television today with these push-up bra or breast implants, and her face was painted like a geisha girl. And yet she was talking about how pretty she is. She got a full lace front on that is not her hair, nowhere near that. I don't understand how those women don't look at this and say, I'm lying to them, but not me. I won't lie to me. But the majority of people feel so bad about whatever it is that they have that they will only surround themselves, like Brian said, with the people who will tell them how beautiful they are, when those people aren't dumb enough to know your lie wasn't even the good one. I can tell that's a lace front. I can tell you got on this makeup because I've seen you without it, and you 19 shades darker than that. I know your hair ain't straight and long like that. I know you don't have that shape you got on Body Magic and Spanx. And when you take off your clothes, do you not say to yourself, and I'm just asking, do those people not say to themselves, you know, I can keep trying to fool them with this, but I can't fool myself. And since I know it takes this device to make me look right, why don't I just go and get right so I don't have to lie to myself? I get lying to them, but it seems like people are lying to themselves, and they are surrounding themselves with people who will pretend that that lie is the truth. I'll start with you, April.
I think that it is so hard for people, and I'm gonna lean toward the women. So, ladies, please don't get mad at me. I think it's become so easy for women to accept living in a lie. They've been insecure for so long, and society has okayed it. They have okayed it. Let's erase society. They have okayed it to the point where you become your mask, you become your costume, they become their costume. So they become their Spanx, they become their hair, they become their makeup, they become their eyelashes, they become their false nails, they become their overly dressed self. They're unaware at this point on how to peel off the layers. So when somebody comes to them and tell them to be natural, to tell them to show themselves, they don't even know who they are. So how can they show themselves? So ultimately to them, it's not even a lie. To them, they are beautiful because they have created a monster figment of who they really were, because they kept on trying to erase that, you know, ugly little mixed girl, that ugly little black girl, that ugly whoever they was trying to erase in the past, so they can come out in front and say, look at me now. But and so many people are trying to say, like you were saying, Tommy, I can't see you. Like, wipe your face off. So I can't. And that they're scared to be who they are. They're scared to wear their natural hair. They're scared to wear their face. You know, they're scared to take the time that it would, you know, all the time that it would take to stay healthy and stay looking good. Look, I have 5 kids. And when I tell you I have to work out every day, every morning and every evening, you know, probably for the rest of my life, that's just something that has to become a part of you. But if putting on a mask is easier for them, I think that they would rather wake up and put on that mask, if any of that makes sense.
Brian?
If you tell a lie long enough, it'll become the truth. Right. Just like with April saying, if you put on the mask, it's one thing. It's one thing if I put on a mask, right? Because if I put this mask on, everybody's going to see this mask, no matter how the mask looks, because I'm putting it on to cover up whatever it is that is underneath the mask. But what happens when I get everybody to wear a mask? What happens when I have a masquerade ball and everybody is wearing their own mask? So it allows you to put on that facade to be something that you really not, but something that you want to project that you are possibly or could be or want to be. So now I'm in a situation, in a position to where I'm holding these masquerade parties. Everybody's coming in their costumes. Everybody's coming with their mask on, and we all get to pretend to be something that we're really not. And if we do it long enough, it'll become our truth. It'll become what we project we want to be. It'll become that. But at the end of the day, when we have to be alone by ourselves, when we take off our clothes at night, when we lay down and it's just us, it's so painful. It's so saddening. It's so depressing to be who we really are, that all we start to do now is to live for the next day to where we get to put that mask back on. That's why so many of us are wearing weaves, because no matter what we have to go through, no matter what type of thing we deal with, when we take that weave off and we just sitting there with our lining starting back here, lining up with our ear, because it done took off all of that. When we look in the mirror, yes, we can't stand who we are. Yes, we hate ourselves. Yes, we hate the fact that we look the way we do. But if I could just get another 7 bundles of Remy, I'll be able to go ahead and make it through the next party. When everybody else see me, they gonna congratulate me. They gonna tell me how good I look, and I'm gonna tell them how good they look, and we gonna tell each other how good we look. We gonna all take pictures, and we gonna turn our ass out to the side, and we gonna put that weave on the other side, so the weave is like draping down this way, and our ass is sticking out this way, and we can take that picture and be like, we did that. We killing it. We out here, girl. Boss chicks. We do that, and we do that so that we can keep the party going. That's why we do it. If we make the party, even when it's hurting us on the inside, if we make this party lit enough, then everybody just keep coming and we'll just keep on stroking each other. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to be who I really am up under this mask.
April, I'll give you the last word, and then we'll move on to the next call. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I was going to say, and it hurts. It hurts them. Like you said before, when they go and they take all that stuff off, they're hurting on the inside. And I think that's why it's so easy for them to lash out. I will not say bash, but lash out on others who are confident in their skin, and men, lash out and they want to say, bad things to them, like call them gay and say stuff like that, because they're upset with the fact that you can step out and you can be who you are and you can remain who you are until your death date. But I couldn't be, that kinky head or that curly head little black girl. I couldn't be her because myself, forget society again, myself was telling me that she wasn't pretty, and I believed it. I didn't have enough inside of me to tell me I am beautiful.
Yep.
Nice. Hey, I'll tell you what, April, as always, thank you for giving us a call. Very good phone call. Indeed. Let's see if we can get to more people. Again, the number is 213-943-3362. Let's go to 917. 917, you're on the air.
Hi, Tommy. How are you?
Hi. Talk to my man.
Of course. Hey, Brother Brian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I was just, with regards to the red flags, I honestly couldn't really see the red flags because I didn't know. Growing up, I just didn't know any better because I came from a family that was into drugs, thieving. They sold drugs, they made drugs. My cousins, my aunts, and they were all like into that crazy lifestyle.
So that goes
and
to
even
my
though
number.
My mom.
That goes to my number 3 when I said.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that goes to my number 3 when I said, well, there is no red flag because it's a normality for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. And even though my mom tried to keep my brother and me away from those things, they lived next door. So it's like we still saw those things. And I knew there was something wrong because it wasn't happening in my house, and I knew how things were in my house. But I'm like, damn, that's not right, is it? But I still couldn't figure out, okay, that's a red flag. Then as I got older, I jumped into a relationship with my first husband. I kind of knew it wasn't right because he already had 2 kids, but I was so desperate to get out of that house and away from my family that I just jumped into it.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 children later, I finally had to just leave. And it was only because I didn't see the red flag waving in front of me. I ran to it and I grabbed that shit with both hands.
But now that
and
goes back.
when I did that, reality smacked me in my face. And it was the hardest thing to deal with.
I want to say something about that. That goes back to me saying a lot of times we'll put that flag on someone else when that flag is on us. You said you should have recognized the red flag. Maybe he should have recognized the red flag that you were too young and too trapped in your household to be in a serious relationship with him. Because remember, you just stated that you were running from something. So you were a problem for him, because once you recognize you were running from something, that left him and your 2 children in a hole.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot more when it came to that relationship. You know, he became abusive and things like that, and I mean, it's a lot. But I was able to get out that relationship, and I stood alone for like 3 years. I mean, I did my things. You know, I dated in the, you know, outside of my house. My kids never saw me with anyone. They didn't even know if I dated anyone or not.
But are you going to recognize
when I met my?
But are you going to recognize that again? Your intentions of even being in the relationship were not noble reasons. You were in a house and you wanted to get out. He seemed like a better option than living at home. He should have recognized that as a red flag. It is the same thing with me. I like to date young women. But if I'm with a young woman who has all of her bills are behind, she don't have anywhere to live, and I get with her, and then she gets on her feet, and she tells her friends, I should have recognized the signs. I didn't really like him like that anyway, and he was too old for me. Well, I should have recognized the signs that she was too young and she was unstable. Those red flags usually go both ways, and people won't admit that. That's why I said many people who are throwing the flags or so-called recognizing the flags never recognize that they are actually a flag, that they are a potential risk to their mate. So I'm asking you, can you not recognize or admit that you were not in this relationship for the most valiant of reasons, which would have been contributing factors to why it did not work?
No, I absolutely agree. I absolutely agree.
And another thing,
you're right
too,
on
is
point
that
with it. I did absolutely see it.
Yeah, and one of the other things too, we will get in a situation or trying to get out of a situation, we'll put ourselves into another situation. So you saw a means to an end. And even though you knew that what you were getting away from was something that you didn't want to be in, but you knew what you were going into wasn't necessarily the best thing for you, but yet and still you chose to bring not one, but 2 children into what you were just trying to, your escape pod, essentially. So if you're on a sinking ship and you get in a lifeboat, you know, you're on this lifeboat, and before you could even get to stable land or to dry land, you brought 2 kids into it too. So now this lifeboat that you jumped on and you're trying to get to somewhere where you can, you know, be safe and live a better life or get out of that bad situation, even though it's a lifeboat, it's not the best situation for you. But yet and still, and not just you, but a lot of women bring children along for that bumpy ride, because it's a lot easier for you to get into a bad situation and to get out when it's just you. But when you got 2 kids in that situation too, now they've got to go along for that ride, and they get damaged in the process as well, because they see what it is that you're trying to shield them from. They see it and they suffer from it too.
You're right. They did. They did see the some of the fighting and things like that. And once that relationship was done, I got therapy. I had my children get therapy, and things were good. And, you know, that's what I'm saying. I could not see myself bringing someone into the house without being healthier myself and my children having a better, you know, being in a better mental state of mind. I couldn't do that. So if I wanted to go on a date or, you know, just mess around or whatever, I would do that after work, or I would, you know, just do whatever outside. But I would come home, take care of the kids, and keep them away from any of that.
Yeah, but
you know, it was just.
But see, the thing is that's you are now in damage control mode. You're now trying to, you know, just basically just put a fence around them and protect them, but yet and still they're growing up without an essential piece of their lives, which is a father. Every child should grow up with both parents in a stable household and a stable relationship. And that's not, although that's the way we would all like it to be, it's not always going to work out that way. But the thing that we have to do is we have to eliminate as many variables as we can. And most of that comes from us looking at our situation and where we're at. Because when you are in a stable position yourself, then now it's a lot easier to find somebody else that is more like you and that is on the same level, or if not in a better situation than you are. And then that will work out for your kids. Not to say that things can't happen, but when you put yourself in a great position, then you are increasing the odds and you're increasing the chances of your children growing up in a better situation. Because if you are a person who's in a stable, if you have stabilized yourself, you have a great job, great career, whatever the case may be, you're not going to go out and just hook up with a random crackhead on the street. You're going to find somebody that's a like-minded person that has some of the things that you have, if not more, because that makes you more stable. But when you're trying to just jump off a sinking ship and you're trying to get out of a danger zone, you just jump out of plane and pull the ripcord. Now you don't know where you landed, but you got your parachute open. And then you say, you know what? I'm going to take my hands off these ripcords and I'm going to go grab me 2 kids and we just going to see where we land. Now you land in the jungle and now you're saying, shit, we're in the jungle. Yeah, we got out of that plane that was going down, but fuck, now I got to try to protect these 2 and get myself out of here. So you make the situation bigger than what it could have been. And so and this is all Monday morning quarterbacking and in hindsight, but for those young women that are watching this and don't have the children, but they still are trying to get a way out, don't fuck the dope dealer and have 3 kids by him. That's the thing. It's like you're trying to do what you need to do to get out of it, but don't put your kids into that situation just because you stepped out of a burning house. Hell, you still on the streets.
Yeah, and a lot of women. I'm gonna give you the last word, young lady, because you brought up some really interesting scenarios, and I try to give people as much of the truth as I can. And once you start to recognize your role in these things, because yes, we quote unquote recognize red flags and we point out red flags, but we never point out our own, which is the greatest of those red flags. Because how many of us actually say, I wasn't good for that person. I mistreated that person. I led that person on. I caused my children to have to grow up without a father. I caused my children to have to suffer in whatever it is, because we are the first line of defense in our lives, period.
Yes.
I'm gonna give you the last word, young lady.
With this situation with their father, after our divorce, you know, he took me to court because he wanted to, they automatically wanted him to pay child support. And I told the court, I said, I don't want anything. As long as he spends time with the kids, is there for them, I'm fine. I don't want anything. And I made it clear to him, I need you to be in their lives. I didn't have my father growing up. I need you to be there for them. You don't have to see them every other weekend. You could see them after school. You could go to their functions, but please be there for them. And he didn't want to do it.
What did he take you to court for?
And because they automatically, when I filed for the divorce, they automatically put the child support in the divorce. And he took me to child support because he didn't want to pay it. And they were trying to make him pay it. And I told him, you know what? As long as he's there for them, I don't want anything. I just want him to be there for them. Be there emotionally, be there physically, be there mentally. Financially, I'll try to do what I can. If he could give me a couple of dollars out of his pocket, that's fine. But I don't want it to go through the system. And that's all I wanted. And I kept giving him those chances for years. And I would call him, the kids will call him.
I guess I'm confused.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Well, hold on,
he wouldn't come.
I guess
it hurt me because I gave him this opportunity. And he shit on it. And another woman would have taken him to court and said, to hell with you. You're not seeing your kids. I'm taking your money. And I did the total opposite. And it was like, I'll see them when I see them.
I'm just a bit confused because you stated he took you to court because he didn't want to pay child support, but you didn't want him to pay child support. So when they were decreeing the divorce, when it was writ in there, all you had to do was say, take that out. And you guys would have never had to go to court.
That's what I did.
Well, that's what I'm confused about. So how would he have taken you to court for something that wasn't decreed?
It was in the decree, and I didn't know that it was in the decree.
You got divorced and you didn't know what was in your divorce? That's a major
The only
point.
thing I knew that was on the divorce, I did an e-signature. And after I did the e-signature, because I was so, and that's my biggest, that was my mistake.
That goes back to another red flag is all I'm saying. Like, you remember.
Then when I went
well,
and
that's
I
what
read
I'm saying.
it,
Remember.
I said, oh, shit.
I want to ask you, I want to point something out to you.
Yeah.
You just claimed that you didn't see a red flag because you were just so busy trying to get out of the house that you jumped in with this man. Now you're saying you were so busy trying to get out of a marriage with this man that you didn't even read one of the first two main tenets of the divorce, which is alimony, child custody, and support. Literally are the first two things.
Yep.
That you missed that because you just wanted to e-sign a divorce decree.
Yeah.
These are big things that you missed. And I have to ask, if you say you learned something by what got you into the marriage, why would you not take better care and be more thorough when you're getting out of it?
That's a good question. I honestly, it was a bad situation for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm saying is
not so much
what Brian
because
said,
he
though,
was
if
there,
it's a bad situation,
when we were married, he was there for them, but it wasn't a good marriage for me.
Tell it, Brian.
No,
because it was getting to the physical point.
So this is that point that we are at when we're talking about, like we were talking about the mirror. So you're looking at the totality of the circumstances and the situation, and you're using that to you're putting that in the picture, so you're not just seeing just yourself in the mirror. So take what he said to you to say, with what you did to get out of it, to have that same type of care in that, and to pay attention to what it was that you were doing, so that you jumped into something and you literally jumped out of it. So it's like, so where was the lesson in that? Because there had to have been a point to where you realized what you were in, which led you to want to get out. So once you got to that point, now you see, okay, shit, I'm in a bad situation. Now let me get out of it. But in order for you to get out of it truly, you have to realize what you did to get in it. So now when you're out of it, and when you're on your way out of it, you can make sure that you don't do the same things you did when you were getting into it. So like when he was saying about learning that lesson and saying that this is what I need to watch for, and I need to be more careful and pay attention to detail, because essentially you getting out of it, you got out of it with an expectation of you wanting this guy to now be the father that you essentially never had. And now the fact that he wasn't, then now that's a thing, and that's his bad. No, because if you were looking for a father in the first place to be a good father to your children, to the father that you didn't have, then you wouldn't have probably picked him in the first place. Mm-hmm. When you first found out you was 2 months pregnant, you should have evaluated the situation and said, is this motherfucker gonna be the father that I wanted to have when I was growing up? And I'll guarantee you can look back and say, hell no. Mm-hmm. But you went ahead and went through the process, and you brought not 1, but 2 kids into that. What made you do that to put you in that situation is what we're saying is that's the part of the mirror that we have to deal with. Mm-hmm. Because that essentially is where the work is, so that you won't do it again in the next relationship. Because it may not be 2 kids next time. It could be something else. But it's the way that you are processing the relationship that you're in, which is leading you to those decisions that you're making or not making.
Mm-hmm. And I want to thank you, number 1, for the phone call. And number 2, I just want you to recognize that what you were doing. I don't like calling people a liar or anything like that, because I'm not saying you're a liar. But what I am telling you is it just doesn't sound right that an individual keeps saying, I didn't see the red flags. And one of the easiest red flag is don't sign your name on something unless you know what you're signing. And you said you were so willing to get out of a house that you signed your name on a marriage license and on some birth certificates with this man. You were so willing to get out of that marriage that you signed your name on a divorce decree. And you want me to believe that you had no idea that child support was in there. And that man was so silly that he had to take you to court. Because even if you e-signed it or whatever you're saying, it goes to show that even throughout all those years and all those kids and all those bad decisions, you continue to handle things the exact same way. Be so willing to just jump out of something that you'll just jump out and not even check the parachute pack before you get out. Because that's what I would do. If I know I got on this plane, I didn't really want to get on it. Now I realize I'm scared and I think the thing is going down. I'm going to check this parachute that I picked up because there was 10 of them. I want to make sure this parachute doesn't have the anvil in it. I'm going to make sure this, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Why not check it before you jump? You know it's going down. You know you got one shot to get out of this unscathed or scraped and scratched, maybe break a leg on the landing down, but you won't crash and burn in this plane that's going down. But you do have enough time to check these parachutes to make sure you not only have the parachute, but you got the backup cord too, just in case that don't work. And I think that's so sad to me that the young woman is still blaming everyone else but her. That sits away with me. 313-695, you're on the air.
Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Hey, Tommy. Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Talk to us.
Oh, okay. So I think in regards to the red flags in relationships, I look at it like this. I think that some people are just selfishly lazy. Like, okay, so you meet this person, you see all these red flags, and you know that they're there, but you ignore them because you're infatuated with the potential of that person and the potential of y'all's situation later on, and you're not focused on like right now because you don't really care about right now because you think, like you guys were saying earlier, you're gonna be able to fix that. You're gonna be able to get rid of whatever that is, and even if you don't, then you're just too lazy. Like you know that if you leave this person, then you're gonna miss them, but you're not really gonna miss them. You're gonna miss the routine that you had with them, and then you're like, okay, I'm gonna start all over again. So it's just like, I don't know. Like, I guess that's just my whole look at the whole red flag thing because I do it. Like, if I am thinking about my motocross career, I'm not looking at what I got to do to get there. I'm looking at once I'm entering all these competitions and all this other stuff. I'm not thinking about I'm going to have to fall off this bike a few times. I'm going to have to do some flips, do all this other stuff, spend some money. Like, I'm not worrying about none of that until it's too late. I don't know if that makes sense. But
so when you were talking about the infatuation part, what do you think that makes you put yourself in a position to where you're sacrificing who you are or what you should be doing or what you could become or all of those things that make you you? Why do you sacrifice that because you're so infatuated with somebody when you know that the thing that this person is showing you or the thing that this person is not gonna be good for you in the long run? Just like how when girls pick the bad boys, for instance, you know, why do women go with bad boys? You already know he ain't shit. You already know that he's bad for your life. You already know that there's just some things about him that are just not good. Even though he may have a car, even though he may have a little money, even though he may be popular, you know he's a bad boy. But in spite of all of that, that's who you want to chase and who you want to be with. And a lot of women will say, oh, well, you know, I was young then and I had to make some mistakes, you know, to get through life. I had to live life for myself so I can learn who I am. But at the end of the day, what you're sacrificing is not just your morals and values. You're also sacrificing one of the most important resources that young women have, their youth. The time when you can have, like, it's like your stock is through the roof. And you have the potential to get all of these dividends by just making the right moves with your body and your youth. But you want to just take it and put that shit on the crap table and hope for the best. Whatever happens to you happens, and you'll chalk it up to that. I was just young. Why do we do that? Or why do young women do that?
Well, like I was saying, and like you had said earlier, like you really get to this point where you like, okay, I think you use crack as an example. Like, okay, I see that they smoke crack, but hello? Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Listen.
Like you really think you can change that. And I think it's like, I don't really know what you have to attest to that, but you just live in this fallacy of like, okay, I'm going to be the person that's going to make him change his doggish ways, his cheating ways, or just whatever it is about them. And you're really not even, how can I say this? You're really not even worried about that. And that's what I meant with that infatuation. Like you come up with this idea of what your future is going to look like, right? So you meet this person and you like, okay, this is who I want. And then you like, okay, oh man, they got some stuff that really, really sucks about them. But I'm going to change that. So we're not going to worry about that right now because I'm so focused on us having the kids and hypothetically the bad boy, the drug dealer. I'm thinking about us having kids, us having a big house, us having a car. And along with that, at some point in time, I'm going to be able to convince him with whether it's if I get pregnant or whatever. I think that us having a family and living with him is going to make that change. I'm not saying that's like that's clearly not going to happen. And then when it don't happen, they be looking crazy.
Well, here's my thing. Here's where I have to challenge you with that. Because when you see that guy that has all of those things that are bad about him, you still, he's fucking not one, not two, but three of your friends. And you still think that you're going to be the fourth one that's going to turn him around. He's a womanizer before you even started talking to him when you heard about him. The things that you heard about him, he got money. He got good dick. He know how to make me come, girl. And that makes you want him too. What is it about you that makes you think you gonna stand out and you gonna be the one out of all of the other pussies in the world? It's yours that's gonna make him change his ways and just want to be with you. You gonna be able to show all your girls, yeah, he was fucking y'all, but he married me, bitches. What makes you think that is the way that you want to go and choose that dude out of all the rest? You know he ain't shit. And a kid ain't gonna change it. Pussy ain't gonna change it. Things that you think that you can do that every other woman is doing or would be willing to do, I think yours is gonna change it. How do you put that in your mind to make sense? That's my question.
Well, okay, I don't know because I've never really been in that particular one, but in a different sense, I don't know. I think like everybody likes to think that they are, I guess they're the best of the best in a sense. So it's like for them, maybe they just really think like, okay, I'm going to show him different. Like maybe these other girls are probably, bugging him about his money. So I really don't know. Like they just trying to do something different that other women might do. And if they think that if they do something different or whatever it is, that he'll just fall in love with them and stop that. I'm not saying it makes sense, but I guess that's just what I think about when I think of the whole red flag thing. And like I said, like you get, after a certain while, like if y'all get to be together, in some instances, like myself, you just get lazy. Like you get used to the routine that you have, and you don't feel like dealing with the confrontation of telling them or trying to leave them or just telling them like, okay, these are the things that we have to work on, and this is what I just don't like. Sometimes you just don't want to deal with that. You just You just choose to ignore it for whatever reason.
So how'd you get into it in the first place, though, is the question that I'd like to know. I think that's what Brian was asking. Like, we hear what you're saying, that you're saying, well, you know, sometimes it just gets to this point, but we gotta ask, but how did you allow this? Because what you're saying is you saw the quote unquote red flags, but what was the thing that made you say, I'm going to stay in it long enough to where now I feel like I can't get out of it? Because remember, you got to stay in something long enough to where you feel trapped.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying about the infatuation thing, the infatuation with the potential. Like, okay, I get in it, I see it, but for like the beginning stages, I'm really not even paying attention to that. I'm literally thinking about everything later that's to come that I think is gonna come. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, and then once I like bring myself back to reality, it's like, oh.
So let me ask this. So when you're talking about you're infatuated and you're thinking about the things that's gonna come later on down the line and all this wonderful potential. So I'm a dude. I got 12 kids by 8 different women. What's infatuating about that to where you want to be
a part of
baby mama number 9 and you just gonna have one? But then once you see that there's a baby mama 10, 11, and 12, now you're trapped and you want me to step up and be a father and be a man. How do you get to that later expectation part? Because you've already seen my track record. That's what I'm saying. You've seen what I've been doing and you see what I have now. That's just like those dudes that were on that show that had those 87 kids by 30 women or whatever the case may be. I don't remember the numbers, but how do you get to be baby mama number 9? And you already see what's happening. There is no potential there. There is no, oh, well, it could work out for the best. There isn't any. All of my resources are gone. It's like there's nothing. I can't give you nothing but dick. And if you think that this one dick that is attached to 15 kids is worth you putting yourself in line with the rest of them, then how can that be? That's beyond a red flag. That's just you choosing fuckery.
Yeah. Have you noticed each one of these situations are the last thing I said, which is the failure to recognize you, not blame the other guy. So we got to ask him before I go to the next call, dear, I got to ask you, why haven't you realized that you are the red flag? Not him, not even infatuation.
I'm not saying I didn't.
Okay, no, that's what I was saying. Go ahead. Maybe you can explain it. Go ahead.
Well, I'm not saying that I am not the red flag. That's why I said, like, you're selfish because you're not thinking about yourself. You are literally thinking about what's to come. You're not worried about you or him. You just looking at stuff. Well, you worried about y'all.
I was about to say, I was waiting on you when you said you're
not thinking about yourself.
Well, but that's confusing. You said you're selfish, and then you said you're not thinking about yourself. Those two are literally diametrically opposed to each other.
You would have paid attention.
But you were thinking about yourself. You weren't thinking about yourself.
You would have been paid attention to those.
But you were thinking about yourself. When it went south, you again thought about yourself and blamed it on the individual instead of you, who knew it was going south, but you cared more about how you felt in the short term over the long term. You did care about you. The fat chick who's eating the cake, she cares about her.
That's what I'm trying to say. I'm just not explaining it right.
Okay. Well, I'm trying to help you then. when you're getting help walking across the street, old lady, don't fight the person and tell them.
I get, and it wasn't necessarily directed at you. It was just a question that I just posed to say, I think that there's a part of just being responsible that you can say, hey, you know, I made these choices. They were bad decisions for my life or for my kids' life, whatever the case may be. But I think that there are other things that we just blatantly do for just absolutely selfish reasons. And then once the damage has been done and the shit is blown up, now we want to take that responsibility and put it on the other parties involved, as opposed to assuming it for ourselves. Because at the end of the day, if for a woman who is single to date somebody with 9 kids or the 9 baby mamas, there's the red flag. It's not him. It's you. That's the red flag. Like Tommy was saying, it's a thing about us that we blindly will walk into a bad situation. Not saying this person was dealing with some things and I found some things out later in life and I didn't know who. A dude that is in a situation that's already bad, but yet and still there are those that are drawn to that and walk into that. You're the red flag, not that person.
Let me give you the last word.
Oh no, that was it. You pretty much summed up it all for me.
All right.
Better than I could.
Well, thank you, and very good phone
Thanks
call.
for taking my call.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Let's go to 856 caller. You're on the air. Good calls tonight.
Yeah.
Hi. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on? Well, first mail here. Talk to us.
Okay.
Not sure what that was, but he waited a long time to be able to do that. 618 caller, you're on the air.
Oh, hey, hold on. Let me get you off the speaker here.
That's probably old boy.
Hey, Tommy, and hey, Brian.
Hey, what's going on? That was probably old boy from Canada because I see him over there arguing with people in the chat rooms in his comment section. So he bored. Go ahead. That's what it was.
Well, I have more of a question for you two. Do you think that somebody, if they've looked into it and they've really, really damaged as far as their developmental period for relationships, you ever think there's a time that it's healthy to say, I've done what I can do, but I'm just not, I'm just not capable of this kind of relationship as far as a deep partner type relationship. And, otherwise I'm good, have some fun, have some sex, but
yes,
not anything,
yes. Yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And it's like, it's the sooner the better. If you can do that in the beginning, that puts you in a much better situation. When you can say, hey, this is what I'm looking for, and this is what I want, this is where I don't want it to go, and you can lay out those expectations and them parameters early, that's great. But if you are in it and you see that the dynamic is changing or it's not what you want it to be, you have just be responsible enough to just lay that out, because things change. The seasons change. The weather changes. There's so much in life that is organic. That's what it's about. And when something changes for you and you don't say anything, then I think that's where the problem gets worse and worse and worse and worse.
So yeah,
I can see that.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Well, you go to like a therapist or something like that, and if you say something like I just said, they're gonna, well, there's something wrong that we need to fix. But I mean, if you've pursued those avenues and it's just, not there, and the damage, and what it is and why it does prevent, that kind of partnering. I think that's okay, but I just kind of wanted to get you guys' take on that. Is it the same as like modern psychology theory, whereas well, you must, everybody can get better, kind of a thing, and
well, it can't
the
get
casual
better.
Relationships are never, a good way to just live through your life out, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Dear, it can't get better if it's not for you. Not everything is for you. The sad part about life is that there are too many people who are trying to live it vicariously through somebody else's right or wrong. Somebody else is telling you that you need to do this or you need to feel like this. So therefore, what will you do? You will do. Listen, you think about how many people have been in marriages that the marriage was over years ago.
Yes.
But because they were afraid that their friends, how divorce would make them look. Yeah.
Yes.
You cared about everything else other than what mattered. When it comes to relationships, guys, sometimes you have to be selfish, because when you stay in them, you make it worse.
And it's okay to be selfish. I remember in my early years of dating, one of the best things that ever happened to me was dating an older woman. And I mean, she was much older than me, much older. And she taught me something. She taught me to ask for what I want and don't be afraid to do it. Tell me what she literally taught me. Tell me what you want. Because at the end of the day, if it's not working for you, it's not working for us. I'm not going to be happy anyway. And it was like, it wasn't about us being together. It was just about how we interacted with each other, how we related to each other. You know what I'm saying? And it was a thing to where I learned at a young age. I knew when I wasn't emotionally available, but I would be upfront with that. And I would tell, and some women totally walked away from me. And there was some women that totally appreciated me. And it made the relationship work. Say, hey, look, I can't do the whole, girlfriend, boyfriend, I meet your mama, meet your kid. I'm not doing that. Here's where I'm at. I'm in a part where I'm attracted to you. I want to be with you. I want to have sex with you. That's pretty much it. I'm being upfront. And the minute you catch feelings, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to walk away. Because that's not what I'm here for.
Well, and
if you're not here for that, that's okay. But the
it
thing
really
is
it's not totally selfish because I'm sorry. Go ahead.
The whole thing was that me being upfront with what I wanted allowed the other person to make the choice to see if they could even be capable of giving it to me. That was the biggest thing, and that it was me being selfish was actually a benefit for our relationship to where we were both able to get what we wanted. Because if she felt the same way, it worked. If she didn't, I saved us both a lot of heartache and drama. So it wasn't the fact that me being selfish was a bad thing. It was actually a great thing. And it's like once you learn how to do those type of things, and once you learn how to be upfront with what it is you want and expect, somebody will appreciate it. Not everybody, because some will be like, "Are you full of shit? You just trying to fuck, and I ain't on that. I'm a woman, I'm a queen, and I ain't got time for that shit." You're right. Move on. And that's okay. It's not a bad thing.
But really, like you're saying, that being selfish is actually the better for the other person, because if you like you said, if you let things go on beyond where they should, or if you're not upfront in the beginning, and then that person's going to get hurt when you eventually fizzle out or you get bored or whatever it is that you don't stay in relationships
that person's going to be hurt. When the real you shows up, absolutely. So why not just be upfront with that in the beginning? A lot of us do that in relationships. We put on the facade or the idea or the image of who we want to be and who we think that the world is deeming us to be. We try to wear those clothes, and we get tired of wearing them 6 months down the line or a year down the line. And we say, fuck this. I'm taking this coat off. I'm hot. I got to be free. And when we let ourselves out, people say, what the fuck is that? Who is you? And that's where the problem begins, because at the end, you can only put on the facade for so long. And we don't learn that until we get much older in life. That's why when you hear people, in their 40s, in their 50s, in their 60s, there's a time in your life where you can't get married because you're too old and you can't mesh your life. You're not willing to compromise and merge with somebody else. You just have to do your thing and do my thing. It's just like those couples that sleep in separate rooms. Been together for 40 years, but they sleep in not just separate beds, separate rooms, because they can't coexist together. They don't want to be around each other like that. And it's like, those are the things that we have to do up front. And when we can be transparent up front and tell people what it is we really want and what we really expect out of a relationship, everybody ain't gonna roll with it. But those that do, it will work.
Yeah. So whenever somebody tells you,
well, thank you both.
Oh, no problem. And just remember, whenever somebody tells you $13,000 a month,
what more do you want from me?
It is what it is. So sometimes you have to be able to say, and I tell you what, there's nothing wrong with being selfish if you're being honest.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with being selfish if you're being honest. 727, caller, you're on the air. Talk to us.
Hi, Tommy. Hi, Brian. This is the Brown Eyes.
Hey,
Hey.
what's happening? Hey, live.
Hi.
Talk to
Hey,
us.
live. And I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday.
I did. Thank you.
Yes.
That's good. Okay, look, I'm not going to dance around my red flag story because I mean it's just silly. So I'm just going to be, pretty much to the point. Of course, I got myself into. I had children really, really, really young. So of course, I got myself into a situation where I was, a victim of someone's violence and all that. So I mean, I can't go back and say, oh, oh, this happened to me. Oh, this person ain't shit. I can't do that anymore. So as I grew, into an older, into an adult, and I have girls now of my own, two older, and I have a younger one that's coming up. So how I redeemed myself was that what I did was as a preteen up until they were into, their adulthood, I just had to redeem myself by teaching my girls what these red flags are. I mean, that's all I can do. I can't dwell. I can't go back. I can't take time back. I can't say shoulda, coulda, woulda. All I could do is guide them because I didn't have that guidance. I had the shitty mom who had the shitty husband, and I had a non-existent father. So I didn't have that guidance. So what I have to do is be that guidance for my girls, now and when they were teens and as they were, becoming into adults. So and they love, trust, and believe in what I say. So they listen. So I can say that both of my older girls have not gotten themselves in situations where the red flags were flying and then, they didn't know or they didn't care and they just got themselves in shitty situations because they haven't. Neither one of them haven't. So that's really all I could say is that, when the red flags were coming at me, did I see them? Maybe. Did I know what they were? Maybe not. Maybe not, because no one has a manual attached to them saying, hey, I ain't shit. So all I could do is teach my own girls, when I see something that I don't like or they're telling me things about, oh, I'm dating this guy. I think I like this guy. But this, and I could say, hey, that's a red flag. I could say, kind of watch out for that. And they believe me and they trust me on it because they know that I've kind of know these things. And so that's really all I could do is redeem myself in the mistakes I made is by just guiding my own children. So, I mean, what do you think of that?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think like when I was speaking earlier, you got into damage control. You know what I'm saying? And that happens to a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you were able to see what you were in, and now you're like, well, shit, I really, screwed the pooch on this. So now let me at least try to prepare my girls for what they're going to encounter and what they're coming up against, because I don't want them to make the same mistakes I made. I think that's the part of when
yes.
you got gangrene in your toe and you have to amputate, right below the ankle in order to save the rest of the body. And you doing that. The thing
right.
is that, there has to, and what I think a lot of us don't do as parents, we'll tell we'll tell our children, don't be like me. And we don't want you to don't do the things that I did. Don't make the same mistakes I make. But I think that we don't take it that extra step and be transparent and tell them why we don't want them to get into that situation and to set the expectation for them. And it's like, I mean that by saying, you tell your kids, hey, there were some red flags that I didn't see, and I don't want you to do it. I don't want you to have a baby as a teen. As opposed to saying, you know what, me having you guys, as much as I love y'all, me having you all at a young age, it not only put me, but it put you all at a disadvantage because I wasn't able to be stable and secure in myself in my situation in my life. I couldn't prepare a better life for you all to be in. So you guys, even though, oh, mom, we love you and we know that you did so much and you struggled to do that. Yeah, but I should not have put you in that situation. And what I want you to do, my expectation for you is to become a person who has a career, have yourself a life first, then get yourself a husband, and then have children, because you will set not only yourself up, but you will put them in a much better situation. Because when you have a career, you date people that are usually in that type of environment. Not to say they're going to do the same thing that you do, but you will be around a different group of people. Get out of where we're at so that you can become better. That's the thing that I think that a lot of us miss as parents, to tell our children so that they can have a better happy ever after, as opposed to just having one, well, you know, my mama did this and she struggled and she made it and all of that good stuff. Yeah, but you could have been much better off and would have been in a much higher place in life had I done better. So I want you to do what I did.
Give it the last word, dear.
Yeah, I mean, so that's it. I just really think as parents, if you went through that whole debacle where when you were younger, and it's like, this guy did this to me, this guy did this to me, my baby daddy did this to me. I mean, you could say shoulda, coulda, woulda. Okay, you could talk about it all day long, but really, I just think that to redeem yourself is to just save your children. Your whether they're male or female. I can only speak for female because that's all I have is female children. The only thing I can do is just guide them, because I didn't have that guidance. So all I can do now, and I will continue to, I don't care if they're 40, I'm going to still, continue to guide, not meddle, but, guide when I can and when I'm needed.
Yes.
And I can just say that's all we could really do if you're a parent, is to just guide your children into recognizing what a red flag is, to recognize when something is not for them. It's not going to be good in the long run. You can't change anyone. You're not special enough to make this guy not do what he was doing to other females. You're not going to be that special baby mama after all 10 of the other ones. That's right. It's not going to happen. So all I could do is guide.
Yes. And that is the job of a parent. You are supposed to guide your children through life until you leave. Your children, your grandchildren, those that come after you, that is your charge as a parent. You are to guide them. Not to say you tell them what to do and you tell them, this is what you do, this is how you do it, you're supposed to do it like this. Not that, but you're a guide. You are a tool for them to access, a resource for not just your children, but your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren. And that is what the purpose is, because you have something to offer all those different generations. It's just a matter of them being in you being in a position to where you are available for them.
And I look at my daughter. When I had her, my life was a guide to when she gets 30. Now that she's 11, 12, my life should be able to guide her from 12 to 40. And when I turn 50, my life should be able to guide her from 20 to 50. She should be able to continue to see my life. And even on my deathbed, my life should be able to guide her to that place. Yep. If I want her to understand, this is because I hate to even think about it, but if I'm on my deathbed, I would try to make her feel as good as possible. It kind of made me sad when I was even thinking about it. But as good as possible about the idea that everybody's life comes to this place. So right before the most final thing that happens to you, that is a time of reflection now. And I want her to look at it. I want to be able to give her, not that it's a time for her to break down, but it be a time of reflection and a time of joy. Because even at my end, you continue. And for you to enjoy what you still have, because it too will end. But I am so happy that I had you in this tumultuous life. You were one of those bright, shining lights. because I don't want her to be sad about life, but enjoy it and embrace it as long as you can. And I think that we don't look at ourselves enough to say, every place we've gone to, and think about the Chinese who's built the railroad. Every track they put down allowed what? The train to go that distance.
Yep.
Your children are those trains that you are laying down the tracks for them. And they should be able to look at you and be able to now have an easier path through that terrain that you had to tread.
Yeah.
And if you look at it that way, there's a pride that comes with that.
My goodness. That just sent chills down my spine, man. I just thought about if I was on my deathbed, what would be my final words to my child or my children? And it would be, if you really love me, be more than me, be better than me. Because that's what drives me as a parent. Everything that I do with my child, that I do for my child, that I do in this life, I do it because I want them to see me and to do better than me, good and bad. See the bad and say, you know what? I'm going to be better than my daddy and I'm going to not do that. See the good and say, you know what? I'm going to do what he did, but I'm going to do it better than that. That is like just that legacy. And it's like whenever my daughter, my grandchildren, my great grandchildren, they watch this, that is what I want for all of you all, to be better than me. Because I'm going to be good, damn it. I'm going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to be even greater than me. If you love me, if you are my blood, flesh of my flesh, bone of my bone, be better than me.
Yeah. And I want to say something to a fan. Apparently, I just lost. So when you saw me earlier when I was doing that, because you know most people can't hide. That's either the anger.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that was. The guy from the chat room earlier, Taqueem Hilton, he's been a fan for a long time. I asked him simply, let me run my show the way I want to run my show. And if I want that woman to be on the line and talk for the entire show, then let me, because it's my show. I don't see what's so difficult about that. But he kept talking about it, so I blocked him. And I said, if you want to be the program director, pay me like I am the talent, and I will run it the way you want me to. Of course, after I blocked him, he emailed me twice. Here are the emails. So, you threaten people to donate or they get blocked. Brian, was that what I said to him?
Nope.
You tell people in the chat to donate in order to chat freely on your show. Did I say that?
Nope.
Then you have the nerve to talk shit to the same person you just blocked. If you call me telling you exactly why you got blocked talking shit, then that is correct. Who in their right mind would donate to someone who blocks people off of emotion? Was that an emotional block when I told him, let me run my show the way I want to and stop complaining about the calls, and he continued to, so I blocked him? Was that emotional or a logical one?
That was logical. See a problem, eliminate it.
He said, who in their right mind? Same thing that the Canadian guy and everybody else says. Once they're done, they want to bring other people with them. Who in their right mind would do it? You weren't saying that before you and I got into our tete-a-tete. But you believe when I was blocking other people, you never said who in their right mind. When you became the one that got blocked, you said who in their right mind. One of the worst things in human nature is that we'll watch other people go through something and laugh. Happens to us, we're hurt. Because somehow we're immune to this stuff. Oh, yeah. Anyway. You don't know that about that Robert Palmer, but I got to keep a straight face. Anyway, your chat is filled with mindless followers that go along with any and everything you say. Taqueem Hilton has been a follower of mine for at least 4 years. If he says my chat room is filled with mindless followers who go along and with any and everything I say, why would he continue to follow me and only send that message when he is blocked? If he knew this, why would he even want to be in there with him? We never had a falling out. Then he goes on. You need a no man, Tommy. You have too many yes people in your chat. That literally had nothing to do with yes people when I have someone on the phone. How can he even make that argument when it was literally I'm talking to a woman and you're telling me I need to hang up on that woman? You're trying to tell me that you know better how to do what I do than I know how to do it. That's logic. If someone says you walk in my house and you say you need to move all that stuff from over there in the corner, that's a fire hazard. And I say, I got fire insurance. Let me burn my own house down. The next person that's in my house that tells me about this fire hazard, I'm kicking out. Why wouldn't you just leave? If you thought it's a hazard and I want my house to burn down, just leave. Why would you stay there and continue to complain about my fire hazard? I put you out. Now you sending me text messages saying that's why don't nobody want to have a part come to your party at your house anyway. But you were there.
Yes.
Let's continue. You have too many yes people in your chat. You say you don't care about people in the chat and you don't know them and you are quick to block them, but yet want to threaten people for donations. Can someone tell me the threat of donations I've made? Have I said, if you don't donate, I won't do a show on Thursday? You don't donate, I won't do morning, Soto. You don't donate, what have I said I will not do if you don't donate? Please tell me that show. I go
Haven't
on.
seen it.
Not cool is what he wrote. Try and control your emotions and use logic, says the man who emailed me this. Again, nobody in their right mind will continue to donate to someone who threatens or guilts them into donations. Name the threat or guilt I've given people for donations. Name it. I will accept it if you name it, because if you're writing these things, True Seaman Jr., then you should be able to back them up with the facts. He says, you expect to keep followers and supporters when you act like that. Have fun losing subscribers and gaining trolls to harass you. So he just let me know. He went from a supporter that long to now he gonna harass me because I blocked him. And that's logic over emotion?
Wow. Here's my thing. If you truly believe that what you said is correct, then where is your accountability in this whole interaction? Because you were the catalyst for that. Had you not been talking or trying to dictate to someone what they need to do on their show, this would not have happened. The fact that you did, okay, you did do that. Because you're right, it's America. You did that. You were corrected and said, hey, don't do this because this is my shit. This is my show, and I'm going to run it the way that I want. Because you are not the program director, and therefore, I am not just the talent. I am everything. It's my show. Then you need to abide by my protocol and my flow. If not, you can simply click the X in the top corner of your screen. But no, as opposed to leaving it like that, you're going to go back and forth and continue to do what you want to do, which is voice your opinion and tell somebody else what they need to be doing with their own shit. And you proceed to do that. And now you went to the next level and you got blocked. As opposed to saying, well, obviously at this point in time in our lives, we don't see eye to eye. And through that discourse, I'm done. Nope. I'm going to send not one, but 2 emails telling you about how you do things on your show and what you need to stop doing when I've not at one point in time taken accountability for what I did. How do you make that to be logical? I have no clue. Because you can't walk into nobody's house and tell them what the fuck to do. And then when they put you out because you kept trying to tell them what to do, You stand outside their house and talk shit. You literally get in your car and you go home. Why do you feel the need to proceed with telling somebody or giving somebody a piece of your mind or letting the motherfucker know what time it is and then turn around and consider yourself to be right?
The logical one.
It makes no sense.
Oh, and here's the second email. You literally told everyone that you don't give a fuck if they donated or not. You're still blocking them in the chat. Right. Why would you expect people to donate to you if you act like that? I think he meant if you act like that. And I can understand because the I and the O are near. I don't expect anything from people, sir. That's why when I started, I do what I do because I've lived my life for these 41, about to be 42 in 2 weeks of my life. And I've never gotten anything from people that I expected. I usually got more or less, but my expectations were rarely met. Therefore, I don't expect you or anyone. I didn't expect you to keep listening to Queen. Let me tell you something, brother. There are people who listened to me for 2 years and realized, he ain't shit, and stopped. And I never saw them again. I never questioned it. When an old boy from Canada stopped doing the you dig, I never questioned it. I did it myself until I got somebody else to do it. It was not an argument. It was not a fight. And it goes back to this thing about red flags. The thing about me, I don't expect anything from you other than you to listen, you to be entertained. And at the end of it, I might turn around and pull a fucking, what's your boy name? Maximus. And ask. Why did I ask him?
Are you not entertained?
And sometimes the crowd starts yelling, Maximus, Maximus. Right?
Yeah.
But I don't.
But when you're at a point to where you don't see eye to eye with somebody, why push the envelope to the point to where you not only tear the bridge, but you set the motherfucker on fire, and then when you're on the other side of the room, you gonna shout and talk shit about what was going on the other side, but you burned the bridge.
And you want to be on that other side. So the best thing that a person with common sense, let me tell you the difference between a Negro and a white dude. White dude comes in and says, I've given you thousands of dollars. I don't give a shit. You talking to my girl like that, man. You get up out of here. And I don't believe you. You need more people. Had to give him the summer slam. But he says, I'm going to donate to you to prove that I did it. Then when I explained to him what I was saying, because I said, man, look, I'm going to let you sit up here and talk to these people like this. He says, that makes sense. Black dude says, I'm going to now troll you since you didn't do what I want.
Yes.
Since I can't control you, I'm going to troll you. Alliteration game is serious.
When you don't get your way, when things don't go your way, it does you no good whatsoever to try to tear the person down that didn't give you what you wanted. When you don't get along with somebody, move on. It's okay. You are not meant to deal with everybody that you encounter in this life. You're not meant to be with them for forever.
That's why I don't trust people, though.
Let me tell y'all something, man. I love doing what I do on YouTube. I love the guru and the whore. And every week, I have to ask myself, or I wonder, was last week the last week? I swear I do. Is this the week that Tommy gonna say, you know what, bro? I ain't gonna be able to do it this week. You know what, bro? I think we done ran our course with this, and I want to do something else. Because at the end of the day, as much as that would disappoint me, I still know that we have had history, and what we have done, the 24, 25 other shows we've done, meant something. Number one, because I put my heart and my soul into what I do. But I also know that if that time is over, that what's awaiting for me next is going to be just as satisfying, if not more, because I'm going to put my heart and soul into that too. So just because something's ending or something's not working or something may change, it don't mean that you got to just go back and shit all over it. Look for something else to be better in your life, something greater to be better in your life. It don't just start and stop with this one moment in your life. Be fucking better than that. Stop tearing down somebody else. Tear your own shit down. Build your own shit up. Because you can do that all you want and you're in complete control of that. Stop trying to tear down something else because you can't fucking control it. Because it's not meant for you to control. At the end of the day, no matter how many times y'all see me, I'm on this man's platform. And if I don't have no respect for that, I need to get off of it. I've watched this man's show. And if I don't have no respect for it, I need to stop watching it. If I dislike it, if I hate it, if I don't like what this man is doing, I need to just stop watching it. It's not my job to tear it down.
Somebody just put, nothing lasts forever. And let me tell you what I expect to happen. That's why I keep telling people, donate to Brian. Go to Brian's stuff. Brian's channel get to 1 million followers. This once a week thing becomes once a month thing, become once every 6 months, become, those are two big entities. Or I may have fallen off to where I'm saying, hey, Brian, you need to let your boy get on your pro, because I need to be on there. But if we become two big things on our own, how many of you guys have looked out and seen, when's the last time you seen Ben Affleck do a movie with Matt Damon?
Yeah.
Then they best friends. I'm doing it. When have you seen Ben Affleck fight to get Matt Damon in any of the movies he's been in? Because remember, when's the last time you really see Matt Damon working like that?
Yep.
They still best friends. Because you have to understand, when we were doing Goodwill hunting and writing other stuff, we click it. But then I became America's heartthrob. You just Matt Damon. Now you became the Born Identity. So we can't really hang out like that because you spending 6 months on set and I'm spending 6 months on set. Then I get to dating J-Lo. Then I get to marry to Jennifer. Our lives are leading different paths. We're still friends, but we don't have to do this. Somebody said it's a vehicle. Enjoy the ride. Exactly. To Queen, once you got to the point, young man, that you no longer want to listen to me, stop trying to act like you know how I get followers and how I get haters. That's ridiculous. You were a follower who came and went. There are several followers who come and went. It's life. I don't get mad that you stopped listening to me. It happens. You outgrow me. But to turn around and say, now that I've outgrown you, that moment that you blocked me, now I need more people to outgrow you. And not only that, but now I'm going to control you. And I will finish this up and then we'll go right back to the lines. He said, you said y'all don't give a fuck and you don't know the people in the chat. You're being a hypocrite at this point. Maybe he doesn't know what a hypocrite is, because that line did not show any hypocrisy. But let's read it again. You said you don't give a fuck and you don't know the people in the chat. You're being a hypocrite at this point. How? The two things that you used did not show any hypocrisy. It did not show that I said one thing and did another. Let's move on to the last part of the sentence. And this is what I told you. All of them repeat the same thing when it's done. Listen to what he wrote. Have fun with all those occult zombies in your chat that worship everything. This is ridiculous. Are they parrots? You've been here 4 years. You get blocked. They're a cultist. But you were.
Man.
The only reason it's like a dude being with a girl. She say, you know what? I've had enough. And his first words is, your pussy stink anyway. Ain't nobody gonna want this nasty. How many of y'all have had somebody who you left and you didn't leave on them to be mean? You just left because this run its course. And their words to you was, you ain't shit. They never liked you anyway, and you ain't gonna be able to get nobody better than you, but in them because of XYZ with you. And you stop and you think, well, if you believe that, why the hell were you with me? Why were you lowering your standards? Hell, why were you begging to stay with me until I told you, no, it's over. Now I'm a bad person.
Man.
Why didn't he recognize? Why didn't he recognize the red?
It could have just been a disagreement. Whatever happened to just saying, hey, man, we had a disagreement. We didn't see eye to eye. I'm going to give it some sleep. I'm going to sleep on it. Then tomorrow, hey, maybe we be cool.
Exactly.
Man.
I'm cool with most people. Like after you
have to be, it's just absolute.
Scorched earth.
One thing I don't like, you're a fucking arch enemy. You the Joker, I'm fucking Batman, and that's it. Why does it have to go that far? Man, you fall out with people. Man, I can right now cuss my brother the fuck out. He could be all kind of motherfuckers, assholes, ain't shit, nigga, motherfucker, I hate you. And I promise to God, this has happened before. 10 minutes later. So, man, what we gonna eat tonight? Shit, man, I don't know.
Because that's the best way to do it. Something real men, think about it. We don't even have to say sorry to each other. We just have to say, you gonna hit the club.
No sorry or nothing.
What you doing tonight,
man,
nigga?
Shit, go ahead and get us some burgers or something, man. Yeah, man, might as well. Shit.
Yeah, I don't need no sorry from you. We grown ass men. So, and I listened to him, and I thought, again, that's the thing that we've been given by our women to do scorched earth policy when we're let down or mad. We burn it all, burn it to the ground.
Yep.
And instead, we don't step back and say, like I said, well, my cousin didn't call me with no lighthearted, nice stuff when he saw that video. And I came on air and said he was right instead of fuck that nigga. He don't pay my bills. He didn't fly. I don't see him like that. So why did I listen? Because was it worth me not being able to recognize what is being said to me? What is my fault in this? Again, we're talking about the red flags. The biggest red flags are ourselves. These people not only don't want to recognize their red flags, but he wants to destroy you because he don't want to recognize him. Yes. The woman caller who was doing the same thing, she would not admit, you did this. You were using this man to get out of the house. And you're talking about red flags with him?
Yep.
Your usury was fine. When you were done, it's his fault. Speak on it before I go ahead and go to the phone line.
At the end of the day, shout out to Chassis. At the end of the day, put yourself in a position to where you're not only checked into your emotions, because emotions aren't bad. They're not bad. It's when you let your emotions make your judgment. When they're ruling your judgment, when they get the better of your judgment, and when you are in your most logical state, or you should be, that's when you make decisions. After you weighed all the options, you weighed all of the facts, you looked at all of the possibilities, all the variables, now you make your decision.
Yes.
When you let your emotions take over to the point because you feel a certain way about something, or something has you feeling this kind of way or feeling that kind of way, when you let that make your decisions, that's when you start going wrong. Because at the end of the day, tomorrow, a week from now, 2 weeks from now, I promise you, Takeem gonna look back at this and be like, man, that shit wasn't even that big, man. I went in, I went too hard. I took it too far. I went somewhere where it didn't have to go, because in the moment, I was emotional. I was in my feelings. Don't make decisions when you're in your feelings, because it's not what it is. It's not that big of a deal. It's just right now in the moment you feel that way. But don't make life-changing decisions. Don't terminate friendships, relationships. Don't end discourse or communication or being engaged with somebody because of how you feeling.
Because I never said I hated him. I did the same thing I do to a lot of people. I block you because you won't stop doing this. You email me and look, if I can't get you to stop by asking you, what should I do? So help me out, y'all. Help me out, please. The audience, I'm going to go to Brian, but audience, you write it in here. If I simply ask you, take your shoes off before you come in my house, you refuse to do so. What should I do?
You just gave me a revelation. Here's the problem. People think that being blocked is a breakup. That's what the fuck people are thinking. They're thinking that if I get blocked, I'm being just kicked out. The relationship is over. I'm not a part of Soto Nation. Tommy don't want me around no more because I got blocked. It's a fucking click on the computer in a chat room, people. It can be undone. It has been undone
several
times before. If you would just stop, most of you wouldn't be blocked in the first place. But let's just say you can't. You're compelled to keep going. Your inner BT is taken over and the override is in place. And now Skynet is in the building. That's fine. It can be undone, people. If you get blocked, you can be unblocked. Just take the night off. God.
You know your boss done told you I didn't fire you. Just take the day off.
Just take the day off. Go home for the day. I've done that as a supervisor when I was working in retail. I've done that. My employee is fucking around and not engaged and not doing what they're supposed to do, not taking care of my customers. I'm not gonna let my customers suffer.
Thank you. What am I supposed to do? What more do you want from me?
From me? 911 wants to watch me, Nora. Are you happy?
I'm just so, because I wasn't mean when I first asked. I just don't. I said, look, man, I think this woman has an issue. And I even explained it at the end of it. Why it took so long. I don't want to cut this woman off. And I explained it, I thought a nice way. These people sometimes call and have been waiting months. They get on here, and yes, she was rambling. But this woman just wanted somebody to talk to.
Yes.
Our show is about trying to help. We have an individual that we could have saved not only her life, some people around her life.
Yes.
By just letting
this
her
is
express
work.
herself.
Absolutely, man. This is work. People don't realize this, man. This is therapy for some people. This stuff can put a lot of things in people's lives in perspective for not just them to change, but others that watch it. So the shit that we doing, it's funny, it's comical, but it's also serious. And whether you want to believe it or not, it's life-changing. Mm-hmm. You would be surprised. I cannot tell you how many people have emailed me personally to tell me what it is that I've done, what it is that we do on here, how it's changed their lives for the better. I can't tell you how many people have told me, I wish I would have seen your content 10 years ago, 20 years ago, before I even had the idea to do this, before I was even inspired to do this. So the shit may not matter to you, and you may not think, oh man, it's just YouTube, man, fuck that. That may be that way for you. But for other people, man, some people get their breakthrough by being here. So how dare you try to shit on that because you don't want to fucking hear it at the moment, because you think somebody's being long-winded, because you think somebody shouldn't be taking up all the time. Everybody should get the call. You right, but you wrong because it ain't your shit. Let these people and let this dude run his show. Why? That's crazy. Because it's his. Huh? It's his.
Light bulb moment.
Man.
I just don't get it. That's why I'm hurt right now. Because I know the young man has been there for a long time.
And I'm gonna tell you this, Takeem. From what I know about Tommy, it can still be good, dude. It can still be good, man. Just take the night off, go home for the night, sleep it off, man. And hey, apologize. You ain't even gotta do it.
Apologize.
Send an apology. Say, hey man, you know what? I kind of thought about things, man. You know, shit wasn't that big. You know, if you cool, I'm cool.
Mm-hmm.
And just let it be. just let it be, man. That's all we got to do. The block is not a breakup, guys.
And I didn't block you in your real life. I mean, shit. Matumbo blocked several people and they best friends. I just don't understand this. Just like, look, man, it's not that big of a deal. Y'all need to stop acting like you control these people. That's what the reason why this thing is so big is the reason why this thing sucks. It's so big because instead of watching television where you can't interact with them people at all, now you have an interaction with those people. So y'all think y'all know me and y'all can tell me what to do. You don't get to watch the Big Bang Theory and tell them you tired of them talking so much about Sheldon. Why don't they talk a little bit about Raj?
Right.
Why is Raj not being featured? None of us got to tell Seth MacFarlane that we didn't want to see a Cleveland show, that a funnier show would have been Quagmire. He did he did what he felt was right. He did, and you either watched it and realized it sucked and you stopped, or you watched it and thought it was funny. The show ended up getting canceled. He has the answer for that. It's him. We judged it with our not watching it.
Exactly.
That's it. But he's still getting money on his reruns because somebody picked it up, because enough people still watch it. So it may not be the number of people you, Taquim, or anybody else think should watch it. They got enough to where he still gets paid off of it.
Yep.
And we have to start thinking like that, especially when it comes to red flags. Because if you call my people an occult now, I don't know how 2 hours ago they were not an occult 2 years ago, or none of that. You should have seen the red flags that we were a cult.
Yes.
And you did not, because you liked what was going on. It would be different if you were the first person to get blocked. You've seen other people get blocked for the exact same thing, and you kept coming back and you never called it a cult. So what made you think that you were immune to this stuff? Oh, yeah. 402, caller, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hey.
All right, give me one moment. Take you off speaker. Take you off speaker, real. All right. Hi, Tommy. Hi, Brian.
Hey, what's up?
All right. I got a question for Tommy. Do you consider oppression and things of that nature a red flag?
No. That's for you, Tommy. He's asking that question to you.
Listen, a red flag of oppression? I think if you see that somebody, I think if you see somebody that these things affected them and it doesn't affect you, then you probably shouldn't be. That should be a red flag, because they're going to be pushing a narrative that you don't believe, and y'all gonna be arguing. Like, if I don't believe in that PTSD of black people with slaves, it'd be hard for me to date a woman who honestly believes that the reason we're acting this way is because of slavery. I'm sorry. We would be at odds, because we're gonna both be talking about a situation. She's gonna blame it on something that I think doesn't exist, and then she's gonna think that I'm not being sensitive enough.
I got you. I asked that because the situation I had as far as red flags, it almost goes to the point that you had said earlier in the show about wanting to do all you can and help out as much as you can, and thinking that you could fix it and change it. And it feels like you try to live their life for them through you. So it's kind of messed up, because I've always wanted a long-standing relationship. I watched my parents for 38 years be in a relationship, and I tried to take that red flag and, support it, help it, and make it become better. Because if you know that that situation can be helped and that person can grow, and you really care about the individual, you would want to, do all you can to show the support and show the love. And I think, honestly, that kind of blinds us in the end. 'Cause I kind of wanted your perspective on that, because I know that Tommy has spoken about that particular topic, and I'm trying to figure out would you consider that a red flag? Would you consider that just being overzealous with love and thinking that you can fix it?
Well, wait. When you say how so? When you say that it could be a red, what did you say, a red flag, or what did you say about it being at the end? In the end, you said what?
Do you think that, you think that because you love a person that you can overlook that as a red flag as far as the depression or anxiety or anything of that nature?
Oh, you're saying like depression. Okay. So I think that when you have situations like that, the things that you, I guess, are able to live with or accept, you have to be equipped to deal with them. And so what I mean by that is, if you're a person who has anxiety, right, and the person that you're with, if they are equipped to handle that, if they have the tools to where they can deal with your anxiety, where they can deal, or know how to deal with you when you have those type of afflictions, then I think you can. I think it can be something that's not necessarily overlooked, but the relationship is strong enough to where you can deal with that. I think sometimes we get in situations that we're not equipped to handle. And then that's how, it can break down the relationship, or the relationship can become toxic when those type of things happen. Like at the end of the day, if I'm, let's say, for instance, I'm a Alcoholics Anonymous counselor. I got 20 years into the game. If my wife is a 12-year sober recovering alcoholic, I think I'm equipped to kind of deal with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily something that I want to do, or necessarily something I should go after, but I would think that I'm more equipped to handle that, as opposed to somebody who has no experience in dealing with that type of addiction. So it's like when you have certain tools, when you have those certain life lessons and life tools where you can deal with people with their certain afflictions that they may have, then yes, it can work. When you are not equipped to deal with that, then that's when things can take a turn for the worse, and those things can become toxic to you and the other person.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just feel like that, I guess in my situation, it still hinders because you still want to help. And, you guys was speaking about emotions, and I guess not thinking logically is hindering the relationship. So I'm just trying to get a perspective of that matter, as far as how,
So look at what
this is a red flag.
Go ahead. Look at what the tools that you have are. So it's like if you're a person and you're in a relationship, and this person that you're in a relationship with is not logical, they're not rational, you can't really reason with them, you can't make analogies to talk with them, so you're having a communication problem to where you can't relate to them. How well equipped are you when it comes to that? If you are not that well equipped, it's not that that person is a bad person. It's just that that person is not right for you, because your inability for you both to communicate and to relate to each other, it's to a point to where it frustrates you, to where now you have your own frustrations and what you're dealing with in this relationship, and not being able to communicate at all with that other person, then you really aren't relating. You're just existing together. And if you all can't relate to each other, if you can't discuss and have an understanding between the two of you, then there's no point in being there. No matter what other aspects of the relationship are okay or tolerable, don't put yourself in that position to where you're at an instant disadvantage with one of the main things in a relationship, which is communication.
Mm-hmm. Is that it, brother?
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you for thanks for allowing me to come on and talk to you guys.
No problem. Very good, man. These calls are good. 205, and if people are listening, brother, to what we're saying to them, so I like that. 205-919. What's up?
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, that's why.
Hold on, I'm gonna take you off the speaker. that better?
It wasn't bad in the first place. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I got a question. I want your honest opinion. Are you ready?
Oh my, you know what? I'm not. I'm gonna let Tommy handle this one.
Please go
Oh
ahead.
no, that means I'm gonna get roasted.
You're not gonna get roasted. It's a call-in show. People are calling in and saying things. I'm just answering the phone and they're saying things and we're answering. Like, for some reason, I don't know why I would not answer yours. I don't know, but go ahead.
This is going to take back like when I was 18 or 19 years old. I got involved with somebody, and that somebody could not really be mine because he had somebody else. By then, I was already in love. I had a baby. When I had this baby, I had to make a decision. Either not to have the baby and I could continue to stay with him, or have the baby and us not be together anymore. That's what I did. I had the baby and I gave him back to his family.
Why did you do this?
How did I do it?
No, not how. I said why.
Why did I do it?
Yes.
Well, see, I don't know why. I was 18 and he was like 10 years older than me. I think he should have known better.
But I'm still got to ask you though. You're blaming him for knowing better than to sleep with you. But you said you had to make a choice. Have this child without a father or a father of a married man, or not have the child.
Right.
And you chose to put that child through the same heartache that you yourself didn't want to go through. That made sense to you.
That's right. But I knew that if I had this child, that there's no way I would ever try to hurt or ruin somebody else's life. I made the decision that we would not see each other anymore. His name is not on the birth certificate.
Mm-hmm.
She's a biracial child.
Mm-hmm.
She is now 25 years old, a college graduate.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's doing fine.
Awesome then. So it sounds like you made it the right decision for you. And it sounds like you made the right decision for your kid. And it also seems like you made the right decision for him and his family, where you didn't try to destroy it, right?
I think so. But I get a lot of negative feedback
from
when people want to know why didn't I have his name on the birth certificate? Why didn't I put him through the system and get him and get child support from him? If I ever needed anything, all I had to do is pick up the phone.
My question is this. Why didn't you have let me ask you this question. Why didn't you have enough shame to not tell it? Because let me tell you, he gave you a baby and you wanted to tell everybody that. But if he gave you crabs, you wouldn't have told everybody that.
No, I wouldn't tell.
That's why I don't like women. It's stuff they will tell people. Everybody needs to know this business.
No,
but other stuff they don't tell that.
I didn't tell like, oh, this is a married man. I did this, I did that. When somebody would ask me about the child, I didn't go into, oh, well, this is how I came about getting this child. You know, oh, I slept with a married man. I mean, we were together like 6 years before this ever even happened.
What I'm trying to tell you, though, is that people didn't have to know the story in order for them to talk. Listen, I'm the master. My business is my business. I got to answer this to you.
Right.
You don't need to know why. You don't need to know. Like, I've seen so many people make videos. That nigga out there, he out there in Arizona. Why he ain't in Atlanta, been around his daughter? I ain't got to tell you why I'm out here. I could be out here because I got a jack-off problem. And I knew if my daughter was living near me, she would cut into my jacking off time. And her mama knew I had a jack-off problem, so she wanted to let me have that. Because we don't, you know what I'm saying? They called me the jacker when I was little. Jack on, jack off. Jack off,
But a lot of people would,
jacker.
A lot of people would think one day I just had this child, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, what is he locked up?" No, he's a very reputable person with a very
You could have just
job.
said they dad died in the space. You could have said her daddy died in the Space Shuttle Challenger launch.
I guess I could have, but I mean, I don't know. I just think that was the right decision, not to drag him through all of that.
You could have literally said that your baby daddy was Major Tom. And when they ground control called Major Tom, I'm just saying, why would you want people to know a part of you so they can now question something that you claim you're happy with?
Right.
Well, when the child landed over here in my world, she didn't exactly look like all of us, and there were lots of questions. That was in 1992, and it was just, you didn't see it as much as you see it.
I know, I get it. That's all I'm trying to say, but
you
didn't have to say this man was still around. You could have said it was a one-night stand with a cabana boy in Jamaica. We was in the grill, and you got the drilled. But you didn't know his name.
Dexter St. John.
Yes. You could have easily said this, dear.
Oh, man.
Nobody would have questioned it at that point. I mean, they would have been like, she a hoe, but they already knew that anyway.
All of a sudden, everybody got very, very nosy, you know, and everybody was just really nosy about things, and it would just make me angry. Like, he's locked up in prison. He's no good. He's a nobody. No, that's not true. He's a great person. We still talk today.
Even after
but he's never met the child.
Why are you still talking to him? You trying to get that ding again, ain't you? You trying to go back to the grill. You trying to be the Chuck Berry. I got my drill when I went to the grill.
that fast domino.
That nigga was real. His chick was hard as steel. You listen, you didn't. You still talk to this man, but he'll talk to his kid.
He brought that steel.
I've been married for 20 years. That's the question. Have I made a mistake by not including him in her life?
When I went to the grill.
No. What more do you want from me?
She said, what more do you want from me?
That's what Dexter St. Jock over in the grill saying.
Listen,
I give you all the 13 inches, man. What more do you want from me, man?
All I'm saying is
12 times.
But I'm curious. Why do you continue contact with this man, but he don't contact with his child? I'm just curious.
That's what I'm saying. I have given her opportunity. I'm married to somebody else. I've been married for 20 plus years. I have 2 other children with this man. All of the siblings grew up, well, they're younger. She's 25, one's 18, and one's 16. I'm the mother to baby daddy. And I've been married for 20 years. She's never once she doesn't ask. I just think it's strange. I know she's got to be curious. My other children are blonde-haired, blue-eyed. She's not. And I just don't understand.
You're still not explaining to me why you keep communication with a dude that she doesn't.
Well, because really and truly, we are great friends. He does call and check to make sure everything's okay. He lives a town over. He does call and check. We do not see each other. There's nothing going on. He will call and check to make sure everything's okay. To make, he's in a
what was your question? Okay, now I got to stop you now.
Out.
Okay, what was your question again? It sounds like everything is kosher, and you're not even Jewish. So what is your question? What more do you want from me? I just want your problem, and no one's listening.
Should I push this child? What if she had a medical condition or something? I mean, I don't know.
She's 25, not 12. Yeah, but she's 25, not 12, and you just brought up all the positive things about her. Why would this even be an issue? If this girl's life is as positive, if this girl's life is as positive, if this girl's life is as positive as you say it is, there's no reason for you to add something that has been not there for 25 years. What are you asking? Are you asking, should you because I'm not understanding what the question is now. What is the question?
Am I doing her an injustice? Is there a piece of her missing that she's not telling me about?
Well, at the end
is there
of the
a
day,
hole somewhere?
How old is she?
25. You know what I'm laughing at. You were wrong for it. And I'm trying not to make the joke. I'm trying to be serious. And you setting up too many jokes. Now stop it.
How
old is there a hole in her heart? Is there something she's not telling me?
How old is
what if she brings home her brother?
Well, hold on. I can make this short for you. Number one, if you still are in contact with her father, you need to let her know. If you're wondering if she might bring home her brother or cousin or sibling or something like that, then what you need to do is tell her right then. Whether he wants to have anything to do with her or not, she has a right to know who her father is at that point, if that is your fear, number one. But number two, you asked me, you said, what if there's something she's not telling you? You should know your relationship with your daughter better than I would. So that shouldn't even be something you'd ask me. If your relationship is spotty enough like that, then you need to ask your daughter. You need to say to your daughter, I know who your father is. Is this something you want to know? Simple.
I did that, and I'll tell you when I did it. I was diagnosed.
No, don't tell me when you did it. Tell me what the result. Don't tell me when you did it. Tell me what was the result.
She said no.
Then that's it.
Okay.
Why are you having?
Go ahead and gracefully bow out.
Because I don't want her to come back when she's 40 or 50 and not be able to be in a relationship because of
she gets to make that decision. She's grown.
She's 25.
So you're going to force her now?
She's grown. I was 25.
So let me, wait, let me ask you. You forced her to be raised without her dad. You did this. When you said, I'm going to have this kid. That's what he says. You forced that. Yes. Now you want to force this grown daughter.
That's what her dad says.
Listen, but now you want to force her to face something she doesn't want to. As a grown, stable woman, as you just claimed, she's grown, stable, and everything is going good in her life. Why in the hell do you want to shake it up? Because you believe at 40 she may do this when you didn't give a fuck what she thought when you had her. You didn't say when you had her, what is she going to think at 10? What is she going to think at 5? What is she going to think at 15? You didn't care. You just wanted to be a mom. So right now, do her the favor. If she says to you, you've done a wonderful job. I love my family. I love my friends. I'm great. Stop being the person that wants to force your thoughts and feelings on other people, because that's who you are right now. And it's not cute.
And the problem is, it's not her. It's not him. It's you and your guilt, because you see your other two kids and what your other two kids have benefited from having their father. And now you feel guilty and you want to try to fix it.
Nope. Gotta shoot you down. Nope. Gotta shoot you down. Nope. This is not guilt. This is power. Guilt doesn't look like this. She likes doing destructive things. Period. Because if it was guilt, She would have lost guilt a long time ago when she saw how healthy and happy her child was. When you care about your kids, when you see that things have worked out for them, you don't go around and say,
just leave it.
Let me show you what's behind door number 5. No one does that when they are guilty. Guilt makes you look at something and you say, it didn't go the way I hoped it did. I feel bad because I put this person in this position. Dang, what's happening? This is a power trip, period.
Gotcha.
I don't want to have that kind of power. At 25, I didn't know what was going to happen. I wasn't looking at the big picture. At 25, I was like, I was on my own, but it didn't sit well with anybody in my family.
So why are you still going with it then? Why can't you let this go?
I was just kind of stuck.
But why can't you let it go? Why can't you let it be what it is? She said no, and he's like, I'm good too. Why do you feel like you have to do something else with this?
He told me when we talked about it when you
started out with high school. Why do you feel,
ma'am? Like I got him in my hand. I rarely do this. I rarely do this. I don't do this at all. But this is the situation where I felt it was necessary. This is not guilt. This is nothing but an individual saying, I want to be able to be the puppeteer of other lives. Don't tell me what you felt at 25 and what you felt at 12, because do you know what you are? Different than your daughter. So just because you felt it at 25 doesn't mean she's feeling it at 25. Did you have your degree like she has at 25? Were you a half-breed like she is at 25? None of what she is are you. Let her live. Stop being what you are, which is let me inject myself into situations so I can be the catalyst to either your happiness, your sadness, your whatever, because that's what you like doing. And that's not right. So I'm asking you nicely, don't do what you keep trying to force. Because if that person is happy as you tried to sell when you started, then let her life go down that road. And if at 40 she decides, you know what, I want to know, you claim that you still have contact with this man. So you know what you should tell him? If she wants to come looking for you, then I'm going to tell her, and you should let her know. Until then, we're going to keep it status quo with me still lusting after that ding ding that I got 25 years ago and being your friend and talking about how great you are. You said how great he is. You said how great she is. Stop trying to rock the boat.
And that's Dick
Just
Jones.
Let them be great on their own.
That's Dick Jones.
Yes.
That's Dick Jones.
All right.
And if I can't be with the one I love, I got to love the one.
That's right. I know you missing that dick. I'm glad you admitting it. She missed that dick. It's good. We got to admit it sometimes. Sometimes we like Rose DeWitt Bucator. Rose DeWitt, she missed Jack.
Yeah,
she went on and had a family, rode horses, and rode some other white man. But she missed Jack.
At the end of the day, Dick wins again.
Right. Listen, it happens. There are a lot of women right now who are married to men that ain't the ones who knocked their socks off.
Wow.
The person who knocked him down was not for them. He was good for a nut. If only for one nut.
No.
But he ain't what you need.
A lot of nuts for a lot of years.
There's some, and that was 6 years of dicking you got. So I understand how you miss it.
Oh,
listen,
man.
Not everything
it's a lot of
is
nuts for a lot of years.
See, not everything, and I know you reminisce like Mary J. Blige. I know you do, but you have to understand, not everything is meant for that thing. Not everyone is meant to do that job. Remember how great of a quarterback Michael Vick was, but he never won a Super Bowl. He was exciting, but sometimes you got to go away from Michael Vick and you got to get Matt Ryan. Sometimes you just got to, he might not be as exciting, and you miss it, and you miss all the electricity that was in the Georgia Dome. You have to understand it was what it was, and I enjoyed it when it was there. Why is it that people can't do that? Enjoy what you had and then move on. Look back on it fondly. That's why you need to start taking pictures of good dick. Keep it in, email it to yourself. Every now and again when your husband sleep, open up that damn thing. Hell, open up, look at it, remember that dick, then wake your husband up while your memory is fresh and fuck him and remember that good dick. We all done it. I know plenty of chicks was remembering somebody else.
The dick onto you.
Right. I know plenty of chicks was fucking me and think about somebody else. I could tell because one of them called me Trent. Who's that? Shut up and keep fucking. Okay.
I just stick the baby.
Yes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
He said one of them called me Trent. Shut up and keep fucking.
You know, you just gotta. You know what? For as much as I thought this phone call wasn't gonna be fun, it really was fun because it get to the point where she admit what she admit. People who don't run from the truth have a better life. You said what you were thinking. I told you the truth. You didn't argue with me. You didn't go off on me. And then you finally walk back and say, you know what? You telling the truth. That's some good dick. This whole phone call was Billy about good dick. His good dick made you call me.
Oh.
That dick is haunting you.
Hey, look. She gonna get off the phone. She gonna go up to the highest point in her house and look out the window across into that other town and say, I wonder what that dick is doing right now.
She gonna be imagining.
Okay, so the bottom line. Okay, wait a minute. So you're telling me
Go ahead.
I'm not over all of this. That's what you're telling me.
You know you ain't all over that. You ain't over it. It's some dick that just leaves
It doesn't have anything to do with the
DNA.
child. It doesn't have anything to do with my current husband.
Look, I'm gonna tell you something. I know probably whoever I marry, I'm not gonna be the best dick they had. I'm gonna be just the one that was best for the entire situation.
Oh.
And that's all this is, dear. You had this kid, and that kid was a reminder of you. But every time you look at your daughter, you think of that dick. I do it. That's why you kept the baby. You was like, if I can't have this dick, I can have this reminder.
This is a memento.
I see that reminder. I see that reminder.
It's like going to the duty-free shop. You just pick us up just to remember the occasion.
Yeah, and so look, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like you said, you didn't chase him down, you didn't fuck with him, you try to make his life miserable. And you say you raised a good girl. That's all that matters at the grand scheme of things. That is what I'm saying.
So
that's all that matters.
So basically what you're saying is that she had that baby and raised up a wonderful daughter as a montage to the wonderful dick she had.
That was, your daughter's a collage to all that dicking he gave you for 6 years. It's a living, breathing collage.
It's a tribute.
Soon as your daughter walked in for Thanksgiving, the whole table said, "Dilly, dilly."
Dilly, dilly.
Dilly, dilly.
Oh man,
my chest.
Yep.
My chest.
She be sitting around at the little tea parties with little book clubs with her girlfriends. They be like, "Yep, there go my good dick reminder right here. Come here, girl. It's my daughter, y'all." I'm so proud of her.
Ooh, it's so wrong.
But I had no problem with what you're doing, but I will have a problem if you try to change the story of your daughter's life just because you want to try and start something else. Do not do this. If your daughter says, "I don't want to know," you should have a good enough relationship to know you told your daughter to be as open and honest as possible. And if open and honest to her at 25 says, "I don't want to know," it may change at 30, but allow her to get that change because her life is running swimmingly by what you said.
Wow.
I kept waiting for her to come to me, and she's never came and asked.
You waiting on him to come. That's what you waiting on. You're not waiting on her. You waiting on him. I'm waiting on him to come on me one more time.
She had that like prime at night.
Okay,
one last
40 and ask, and I'll tell her. But I'm 50 now, so that means he's 60.
still want it.
The dick probably still good. He probably take him a half of Viagra, still putting it down.
Yeah.
Let me tell you,
See?
it's not about the size at all.
You gonna fuck around and make this nigga
That's
Skype you the
what
dick.
they say about you all.
You know what you need to do after this show? A video like them young girls was doing. What would you do for the dick? You need to do that video. What you
For
gonna do for the dick? You need to do the for the dick challenge.
I'll call the show for the dick. I'll give my soul for the dick.
Have a mixed baby for that dick. Go and drive my cousin crazy for that dick. You just look. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let it go. Let your daughter be your daughter. You are fond of that dick, and that dick brought you a beautiful child, as you stated, that you loved and grew up to be a wonderful young woman.
He told me I did a great job with her.
You love that man. You love that man. You cannot stop talking about this man.
I do.
You sound like the Bobby Boucher of dick. My mama said. You are keep bringing up what this man said.
Hey, Tommy, it's something wrong with him to do long
No. Man, this man must got the best dick in the world. That man had that Lucky Charms dick. He had you seeing orange stars, yellow moons, green diamonds, and horseshoes, all kinds of crap. Dear, I understand. All I'm trying to tell you is at the end of the day, please, for all the jokes, please don't do this to your daughter. It's not right.
She's still thinking about that dick.
You can still get the dick without telling your daughter. As a matter of fact, one day y'all might be able to get back together through all this crap, and then when you get back with him, you could be like, you know, this your daddy, right? You could be. You could get a divorce from your husband. He could get a divorce from his wife. Y'all can literally get back together, and I've seen it. Man. I've seen people do it 30 years apart.
No. We never talked about anything like that.
I don't know. All I'm telling you is leave your child alone. She became an adult. She doesn't want it. Do not force it on her. It's not right.
Yes, please.
That's it.
You are like the poster child for why a woman just need one dick in her life. Because that one dick got away from you. It's like Ahab. You like Ahab. I gotta go to it.
Instead of white whale, you got a black dick. You literally was running around when you was probably got married, and when they was ready for you to say I do, you said I dick. Oh God.
When they said, is there anyone who would say anything against these two being joined? She looked back like, is he in?
She wondered if he was there.
I'm not in this right now. I swear I will.
She looked at her phone, checked the text messages. Said, no,
let me check my phone, honey. Hold on. Just 1 second.
Yeah, hold on, man. Let me look at my email. I might have gotten an email.
No, we do not.
I'm looking the email. We don't you know what? I'm gonna drive back to the house and check to see if the letters been.
You know what I'm saying?
So just give me about 30 minutes.
You mean ain't nobody gonna stand up? None of y'all gonna stand up and say nothing? Y'all just gonna let me get married? Y'all ain't shit. I do.
That dick across town.
Y'all just gonna let me get married, huh? That's what y'all gonna do?
Y'all ain't shit. You supposed to be my maid of honor, bitch. You just let me get married.
Baby, let me tell you something. I am going to end the show on this because this was fun and I needed it. But I really do need you, dear. I need you to just let your daughter be an adult. It's not fair that you try to infuse this man into her life.
I haven't interfered. I have done nothing.
Then don't.
She's on track. I want her to stay on track.
She's on track and you on crack. Dick crack. The residue is still in your vulva.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
This is crazy. I hope I never marry a woman like you. This bitch up there dreaming about another nigga's dick like she Vanessa Williams. Hoping, baby, you will be there. I'm still dreaming about semen. For once in my life.
She gonna be fucking her husband tonight. She gonna be like, yeah, hit that spot, Trent. Who the fuck is Trent? Just shut up and keep fucking.
God. Oh.
Oh my God. Oh, I tell you.
Baby, thank you so much for the phone call. If I find out you done tried to ruin that girl's life, I will hunt you down, all right?
Sounds good.
All righty then. Thank you so much for the phone call. Thank you for entertaining us. Let me go to my man Brian and let Brian talk to you guys with some common sense because I don't have any. Go ahead. I ain't got the, all I'm gonna do is fuck shit up. So y'all want to talk to me? Go ahead.
Well, I would say this, man. Just make sure that the red flags that you don't acknowledge, they are not just gonna have in the moment consequences, but they're gonna have long term to the end of the road type of consequences. Take those red flags, even though you don't want to, even though it's the last thing you want to do because you want to live in the moment. Take those red flags and make a better life for yourself and acknowledge them. Don't be so caught in the moment to where you make a temporary decision that's going to affect you for a lifetime. Keep in mind that at the end of the day that you're in is not your last day. You have a lifetime.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
You have children that are going to follow behind you. Pave the way for them to have a better life. If for nothing else, if you're going to sacrifice yourself, fine. But just do things in your life that's going to make your children's life better, as opposed to satisfying your own immediate wants and needs.
And I want to leave her with a song by my man Alexander O'Neal. He digmatized my friends, digmatized my sister, done digmatized my grandma. I'm fed up cause all this nigga do is digmatize. Digmatize, yeah. That's before a lot of y'all was born. Y'all don't know nothing about that song. Look it up. Look it up for Alexander O'Neal. Criticized and she got digmatized. That's just ridiculous. This should not be a part of your life, woman. She said that man is 60 and she's still thinking about it. God, dog. Dick residue. Oh, God.
Goodness, man.
I want to listen. We all had a wonderful show tonight. This dude said he done send another damn email.
God. Oh, man. You know what? I'm going to hope for the best and hope that he heard our words of wisdom and is turning his life around.
I'm going to read it to you, and I can tell you, you are honestly wrong. I just saw the beginning of it. It said, you are missing the point. First of all, you took what I said the wrong way. I was under the impression that all the calls were timed so the other calls could get through. I don't give a fuck what your impression was. If you saw I was allowing the woman to continue to talk, why would you say because I was under the impression that the calls were timed that you should shut them down even though you're letting them talk? Make that make sense? To Nick, just like a woman, he will not stop ever.
Nope.
You just justifying this dumb shit. Well, I was under the impression. What gave this nigga this impression? Did the first two calls, were they timed? What would give, seriously, what gave this nigga this impression? You know, standing in front of TV, so I can't see the man, huh? They just, what would give this man this, what would give him this impression?
They were timed. Is that all you got? Is that the best you got?
Yes, you wrote this and just sent it 4 minutes ago.
Oh my God.
And I took it the wrong way, not him. He the one that was under the impression, but I took it the wrong way. Let's continue. And how do you have the nerve to tell someone to grow up when you're the one responding all overly emotional, says the man who sent me 3 emails and calling people out of their names. Seems like you can't do KNO wrong? Lord Jesus, forgive your people, for they know not what the fuck they do. Let's get to him again. He said, I can't do KNOW wrong, sir. Just know you are an emotional hypocrite who doesn't know how to talk to people when looking at comments you disagree with or don't fully understand, says the man who said I was under the impression that it was a time call. I'm the one who doesn't fully understand, not him. When have the guru and the whore been time call? Tell me the show.
Hold on. I'm going to take it one step further. I have never witnessed time calls. I've witnessed the penalty box, but I've never witnessed timed calls.
And when you do have the penalty box, how do people know it's a penalty box? It's a big ass clock on the thing, and it just counts down.
They're scrolling. You got the word scrolling across. Tommy in the penalty box. The guru of the whore has never done the penalty box.
Let's continue.
Facts.
Those Sotomayor followers in your chat kiss your ass and agree with any and everything you say, and do need to grow up along with your sorry ass who doesn't know how to reply back to a simple email. How is it a simple email when you were threatening to become a troll of mine and that nobody will donate to me and I will continue losing followers? Do you see me complain about losing followers? Has that ever been me saying that ever? And I love how people say he's losing money and followers, but they never show you how they can say, because most people who say losing followers can say, remember yesterday he had 200 and blah, blah, blah thousand. Now he only has 100. It should be something you can see. If you can say it, you can show it. But when I lose you, let me tell you what I gained. When you left Takeem, 100 more came on that day. I lost you, I gained 100. Every day I lose somebody, but I don't know y'all, so I don't give a shit. Because I cannot worry about one person who I've never met, who I don't know, deciding that they no longer want to watch me. That would be dumb. I would never grow because I'm worried about the few who decide that they want to walk off. There were people who, TD Jakes used to be my #1 fan. You think I sit around and worry why TD Jakes no longer listens to me? I don't give a fuck. And I would tell TD Jakes to his face, I don't give a fuck. When he came to me and asked me that simple question of, oh, no, he didn't ask me himself. He had his representative call me and tell me not to keep saying what I had been saying about mega churches. I said, you can kiss my ass. Of course, I didn't say that. But what I said was, this is what I believe, and I am not going to change my belief for someone who may give me a couple dollars. Because at the end of the day, you have to understand that man wasn't giving me enough money to sustain what I do. So if you're not doing that, why would I now change my method of my modus of operandi for you? I believe what I'm saying. You can say that shit to Bishop Eddie Long. You can't tell me that shit. I ain't sleeping with you. Get away from me. And I don't understand why people believe if they give you ever seen somebody give you a couple something and they think they can tell you what to do, period. Like you needed it like that. You're like, I appreciate it. But I don't need it. Not enough for me to sacrifice my morals, my ethics. And I don't believe that
you are what you do. Why would somebody expect that? Yes. Why would you expect for somebody to change and to bend to something that it is that you want? At the end of the day, if you don't like it, it's okay. Just don't watch it. You don't have to go on a campaign against somebody or something that you don't like anymore. If I stop eating McDonald's, I'm not going on a fucking smear campaign to talk about everybody else that's eating it. I just don't eat it. I don't like it. I don't eat it. So I'm not going to go around and put a sign out in front telling everybody else not to. They have a right to eat it if they want. It's fine.
And look at me and
just
TD
move
Jakes.
on.
I didn't make no anti-TD Jakes videos. Never once. Never once. The man does good with what he does, and he didn't stop being good at what he does because me and him decided that we're going our own ways. To me, it was an easy thing. You didn't see me trolling him on Instagram, talking shit to him. It never happened because there was no reason.
You're not doing 8-hour shows talking about you got to take down Bishop T.D. Jakes and his mega church and all the Jakeites.
As a matter of fact, I might put up that 2.5-hour interview again just because it was a really good interview. It was a really good interview. When myself and Ice-T fell out for the little time we fell out, it was no big deal. I wasn't going on a campaign to smear this dude. It's stupid. But let's finish reading what he said about my emotional hypocrite ass that needs to grow my sorry ass up. I'm so sorry that he's still stalking me, who doesn't know how to reply back to a simple email. If you can't respect my opinion without calling me F-bombs and niggas, then you are the one that needs to grow the fuck up. And P.S. I was never a part of an occult. I donated to your PayPal twice and a couple of $100 on Super Chat, but I never asked for a wrench and never called in to troll or kiss your ass on any of your shows. So get your facts straight. How is what him saying of I donated a couple of times and then donated a couple of $100 in your Super Chat? I'm just confused of how does that not make him an occult member? See, let me tell you something, to Queen. To Queen. What's what I need to call him, to Queen. To Queen, listen, sister. If you weren't in an occult when you donated a couple of $100, then maybe, just maybe, the people who listen to me aren't into an occult either, because many of them have never donated a couple of $100. They just come and listen and walk on about their business. So why is it that you can say you were not in it, but they are because you're mad? If you want to talk about what an adult does not condemn everyone else for what they're doing when your beef was with me. And let's finish what he said, and then I'll let you go ahead. He said, so get your facts straight. Never donating to your ungrateful, selfish, over-emotional, hypocritical ass again, and you won't be seeing me in your kiss-ass chat room either. Remember at the beginning when he said, I'm over-emotional because I call people names? In the same paragraph, he said, so get your facts straight. Never donating to your ungrateful, selfish, over-emotional, hypocritical ass again. So not only did you cuss, but you called me several different names that you never called me before we had our little falling out. I wasn't just all of these words you wrote tonight. I've been ungrateful, selfish, over-emotional, and hypocritical before tonight. You just didn't like it when that person showed up. Like when people say someone's two-faced. No, they're not two-faced. It's the same old fucking face. You just didn't like it when they showed it to you. Because a two-faced person was two-faced to somebody else and you watched them do it. We get mad when they show that face to us. We saw them show that face to someone else. It was not a surprise. You get the last word.
I'm saying this in hopes that Takeem sees this or is watching this right now. You obviously do not see eye to eye with Tommy or this platform or the people that participate in this platform. And at the end of the day, that's your choice. Get it. I understand %. What is the purpose of the constant or the several emails, the threats to tear down what it is he built, to just continuously have discourse and issues with somebody that you obviously now, for whatever reason, do not like anymore? If you are eating something and it becomes nasty to you, do you keep eating it? If you go to a restaurant and you don't like your meal, do you finish it? If you don't like it, just stop. be done. Move on. Go live your life and don't look back. That's my only advice to you. Because at the end of the day, the more that you continuously go through this, you think in your mind, because you are in your feelings, you think that you really telling a motherfucker what time it is, and you're only making yourself look bad. So cut your losses. You don't like him, he don't like you, you don't like us. It is what it is, man. Just let it be and move on. Don't spend your time and your energy trying to prove a point or to make a case to people that are enjoying what they're doing, because you're not going to change anybody's mind. You're not going to sway anybody that's in here, because we are all adults and we like being where we're at. And just like the way that you sent that email to say what you want to say, you should extend that same courtesy to us, to let us be where we want to be, without the name calling, without the shit talking, and without the negative energy that you want to continuously give to us. Just move on and go on your way and live your life. And I wish you Godspeed in doing so, sir. But let us do us. And you do you, and it's okay with that. I'm okay with that, and everybody in the chat is okay with that.
Mm-hmm. We're not gonna be talking about the Queen tomorrow. Next day, the next day, the next day. Literally, is you decided that you don't want to be here. You're decided that you don't want to donate again. I don't know how that's really going to ruin what I built without you. I built it without you, and you lived your life without me. That money you made to be able to donate, seriously, you're making it again. You probably have way more than that. You didn't donate your last. So I'm pretty sure you have a good job or whatever it is you have going on with your life. And you will continue to have, you probably have a better life without my hypocritical ass. So you shouldn't look back. If my ex was a hoe, I'm not going to spend a bunch of time trying to tell the world she a hoe. Matter of fact, I'm going to be embarrassed that I used to be with a hoe. So if this is a cult and these people are stupid, you should be glad that you are now released and relieved of them. Enjoy your freedom, bro. Shout out your people who did you some work.
Yes, indeed.
Oh, he's still emailing me. At what point did I tell you how to run your show?
There we go.
I'm gonna tell him right now, bro. Be blessed.
Man,
I'm blocking.
Just live your life.
Yep. Hey. I just had to block this grown man. At first, I would have let him come back. Now I'm just tired. We're too old, because if I know you'll flip once, you'll flip again. So we good.
Yep. I want to give a shout out to Sinead. Thank you so much. I appreciate you showing the brother some love. I want to give a shout out to, oh man. Hey Brian, this is Tanisha Finley. I've been co-hosting with Tommy on Morning Soto. I know, I see you. I see you. I appreciate your message, and I love you and Tommy as a team. Keep up the awesome work. Side note, hey live. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's what's up. Shout out to the Morning Solo, my favorite morning show. Yes, indeed. I want to give a shout out to my man Derek Johnson. Thank you, sir, for your donation. Joshua Smith, hit your boy up twice. I appreciate you, man. Thank you. I learned a lot from you. Keep up the good work. Yes, sir. I'm going to try my best, man. I'm going to try my best. Indeed, sir. Thank you so much. Let me make sure, because I don't want to say no name. Okay. Amanda Kirk, thank you so much. Happy Thanksgiving to you too. Make sure this one here. Yep. Trey Morris, thank you so much, man. What up, bro? Huge fan of you, man. Love when you and Tommy do a show. Me too, brother. Thank you so much. My man Tony, thank you so much, good sir. Hey, Brian, happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Here's a little something for the church building fund. Keep doing what you do, bro. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate you, man. And the church thanks you for donating to the building fund. Yes.
Amen.
Let me make sure you got. Oh, my man. Hey man, I want to give a shout out to DJ Just J for your donation and also for inspiring us to support our man King Shawty over there streaming on the Soto Gaming channel, man. He really been showing some love and we've been showing him some love, man. He said, you got that plate on the way, bro. Laugh out loud. Love you. Hope you have a good show, my man, and thanks for all the support. I appreciate you, man. And man, shout out to the Soto Gaming channel, man. We definitely been trying to support you, brother. That's what's up. Another donation from my man Jason Payne. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Make sure this is, yep, my man Ryan Frazier. Thank you so much. I enjoy your perspective. Keep it going. Yes, indeed, sir. I will definitely do that. Let me see. All right, I can read this one. This is from Kelly Brown Eyes. I love your intellect, demeanor, and overall grown-ass manness. Thank you.
Ha!
Laugh out loud. I also love the friendship and dynamic you share with Tom. Continue to do great things. Much love. Thank you. Thank you. I'm trying my best. Cynthia, thank you so much. Loving the guru and the whole. I cannot pronounce that name. Is it
Mayolo?
Mayolo. Gotcha. All right. Got that. Thank you so much for your donation.
She's a trooper.
Yeah, she always donates to me too. Thank you so much. Pete Roberts, thank you. Thanks for putting on a great show and providing great content. Hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Peace from Houston. Pete the Pirate. Matey. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Also want to make sure this is cool. Yep. Angela Hope, thank you so much. Hi, Brian. You and Tommy are amazing together. Thank you for your wisdom. It's very much appreciated. You are welcome. It is an honor. Thank you so much. My man, Zeno, Damian Miller, thank you so much for your donation, good sir. My girl Chastity, thank you so much. Love always. Appreciate your donation too. Thank you so much. And let me make sure that is. Yep. And to Covette in the chat room, thank you so much. Hey Brian, you and Tommy dropped major logic this morning, like the true kings you two are. Thanks for the message. Kings of Logic. Shalom. All right. My man DJ Just J, of course, always showing love, man. Love you, brother. And my big brother, and my brother Tommy. I'm so thrilled to see you guys do the Guru and the Whore every week. I'm thankful to be able to call you guys my friends. Hashtag Soto Nation. Me too, brother. Thank you, man. This is an honor. It's always an honor. Diana Powell, thank you so much. I appreciate you and your donation too. Man, you guys are showing a brother some love on this holiday evening. Thank you guys so much. Oh, wow. My man, Albert Morgan, enjoy your knowledge you put down. Enjoy you and Tommy's chemistry. Me too, man. And thank you for your donation, sir. I appreciate it, man. To Gerald and Gerald Hoya? I think that's it.
Huya.
Okay. Happy Thanksgiving. Thank you for all your work from New Zealand. Boy, I tell you, he always donates to me too. Thank you, sir. Coming all the way from overseas. International. My man. Oh, wait. I read it first this time. Another donation from my man, Jason Gunn. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Yes, indeed. And I believe that is it. Thank you guys so much for all of your donations, man. I appreciate you guys. I love you all, and it is an honor to be here with you guys every week. And to my brother Tommy, is nothing but love and appreciation for you, man. Thank you for being my brother. Thank you for believing in me and what I do and inspiring me and investing in me too, man. It is much appreciated. I love what we do.
No, hey, man. Hey, this is one of them good nights, and this is an awesome thing. Let me see. Trey Morris. What's up, bro? Be safe. Love you, man. Trey Morris. Hope the show goes well, bro. I'll be watching. Derek Johnson. Truck 43, another night riding in. Arizona, heading back to Philly. Amanda Kirk. Happy Thanksgiving. Adron Martin. Thanks for all the years of great content, Tommy, and thanks again for allowing me to use your brand to use your brand to hopefully grow my own. Soto Gaming, shout a king.
Oh,
April Treadwell says, happy Thanksgiving, Tommy. Tonight, we're thankful for you. Love, April. I got to read what was written in here by Augustus before I read the rest of these. Augustus says, I am thankful for Tommy making me a mod. I am thankful for my new kidney and being alive. I'm thankful for Tommy for having Tommy having me having a voice on his show. All right.
Nice.
That means a lot. Let me go to the next one. Kelly Brown Eyes says 4/17 is the month and the year I discovered you. Hope you and your girls have a wonderful holiday and enjoy your time together. Hope you two enjoy your time together. That's my favorite line that white boy said. I hope you two enjoy your time together. That white boy was mad. You took my bitch.
Oh my God.
I done gave you this big old diamond. What more do you want from me? Don't. Oh, you gonna make me watch Titanic tonight. You gonna make me watch it.
I hope you two enjoy your time together.
God, they gotta give Billy Zane an Oscar for that role. He played that role.
He ain't been in nothing lately, neither.
I know. That nigga was
Man.
in Zoolander 2. It got bad. Oh.
Yeah, I never saw that. He was in that.
Yeah, he was. It was like,
Man.
Cynthia May Olo says, really enjoying the Guru and the Whore. Angela Hope says, love you guys again. Thank you for what you do. My man Zeno sending a donation. Mr. Hui is sending a donation. Although we don't celebrate Thanksgiving in this part of the world, I'm thankful anyway for being a part of Soto Nation. Thank you. Peace from New Zealand. That's awesome. My girl caller April always showing love. And Diana Powell's always showing love. That is awesome. One more came in. J.A. Wallace said,
don't even say the other part. Just don't say the other part because you know who that is.
look, y'all motherfuckers just gonna have to be all right with me reading your shit. Don't be look. The old song from the Fat Albert Show. You gotta look before you leave. Why do I remember this? Why? You gonna make me Google that now? That song might be online. You gotta look before you leave.
Oh my God.
I think it was, what was it, Lil Bill? Lil Bill.
Oh, Rudy,
pages,
that Rudy the little one.
Yeah,
you have no
pages,
class.
Picture pages. Fill your day with picture pages. You can play with crayons and with pencils.
Picture pages, lots of fun.
And still Bill Cosby does another picture page with you.
Hey.
Oh, it was best when we were kids. It was. Yeah, you got molested, but you got stuff too.
You know, my show used to be the Brown Hornet, boy. The Brown Hornet. Yeah, buddy. My goodness, man.
Nigga slapped your ass and gave you a popsicle. He was nice about it.
The Buck champion.
Like Will Ferrell said, I was a pimp, but I was a nice pimp.
Boy, I tell you, man. Y'all got my face.
I always wanted to be a friendly crack dealer. You know, just be like, you know, you want some crack? This was friendly crack dealer. Oh my God. All right, y'all. I'm done. Tonight is over. I'm out. Thank you so much, Ryan, for everything
Thank
that you
you, man.
do,
The
man.
Thanksgiving special was great.
No, I got a big one. This one got a lot of zeros on it. Said to totally enjoyed the show tonight. Mr. Albert Morgan just donated. He gave me $1. You guys who donate, you guys know you don't have to, but you do. And I'm sure I speak for Brian when I say it means a lot that you would even think to do something like this.
Absolutely.
And the young lady Covette bought all of my music tonight, and I want to thank her for that as well. And I think someone said go over to the You Dig. So head on over there, y'all.
That's
Brian,
what's up.
Love you, brother. Thank you so much for even taking time out to be with me.
Man, I appreciate it. It's an honor, man, as always. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
To all the mods, thank you. Everybody in the chat room, we appreciate you for coming. Even those who left. It's all good, man.
It happens, y'all. 13 hours a day online. What more do you want from me?
Me. I've been streaming all day, Nora. No one will watch me. Are you happy now?
God, dog, I can't believe he just decided to be out like that. That nigga said, you ain't shit. Why do people say you ain't shit on their way out the door? You ain't shit. You got a little dick. Now what? I don't know what to say to this. I just... Why? Well, this is in honor of to Queen.
I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? $13,000 a month. I'm at $13,000 a month. $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? $13,000 a month. I'm at $13,000 a month. $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? Baby, no one's been shaking for my baby. 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 More do you want? More do you want? What more do you want from me? More do you want? More do you want? What more do you want from me? More do you want? More do you want? What more do you want from me? More do you want? More do you want? What more do you want from me? Congratulations! 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 No one's been shaking for my baby. 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 And 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 no one's been shaking for my baby.
I don't know who this ace person is, but I'm gonna go kick this nigga in the face. This is the ace person that came in all this asking to get on the show. What is the number? When you see the motherfucking number on the screen, they either turned around and said somebody named Al Green version is better. That nigga's the consummate hater.
Man.
Listen, Ace Spade, what more do you want from me? I ain't the best at anything I do. I just do what I do. That's all we can do in life. Just do what you do. Yep. That's what I do. Enjoy, guys. Brian, go to bed. Everybody else, go to bed. CJ, I'm going to go to the post office so I can go and see what's in there. Says he want me to go to that post office. It better be something good in there. It better not be no motherfucking socks. I go to the post office, that nigga be waiting on it. Congratulations! I'll be like, oh,
are you happy now?
And they gonna pop out the box. Ah!
Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Good night, everybody. Good night, brother.
All right, brother.
Peace.
Love you, man. Take it easy. Have a good night, man.
Peace out. Hey, y'all. We out. Oh man. Oh, this should never be what it is.